What's going on? What is going on, peeps? I hope you guys are well. What's good? What is good? What's good, guys? Get your questions in. Get your questions in. What's good? What is good? What's cracking, Stephen? I hope you're good, man. What's going on? I'm all good, brother. I'm all good. Let me get the link in, man. Let me get the link in, bro. Let me get the link in for you guys, man. Stephen, man. Great having you here, brother. All good, man. All good. All good. It's good seeing you guys again live. Glad to see you doing better. Cheers, man. I appreciate it, Stephen. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, it's been a bit of a rocky road, but I'm back. I'm back. Hopefully do more lives now as well. Smash the like button. Yeah, Jesse's in the house. Smash the like button, guys. Everyone in the live stream, smash the like button. Stephen, what's going on? Stephen? Stephen, you there?
I'm here. I'm here. I'm sorry about that. What's
What's
good,
going?
man?
All good, man. How are you?
All right, man. How you been doing?
Oh man, it's been a crazy couple of weeks, man. I can't explain to you. It's been bad, man.
Man, you know that coronavirus, man. It affects you in ways that you can't even imagine.
Yeah, I know, man. Breathing, depression,
Mm-hmm.
all of it, man. I've never experienced anything like that before, man. My whole life. It was
What about your taste? Did you lose your taste?
Yeah, man. Even like not even just my taste, but when I went outside and I smelled the air, even that
Mm-hmm.
smelled different.
Mm-hmm.
It was just all like it was really weird, man. I've never experienced anything like that in my life.
Yeah. Yeah,
Crazy.
man.
Some people get off light, but some people, man, they don't. They're not so lucky, man. Like obviously, I
Yeah.
got through it, but some people don't even survive.
Yeah. Yeah. You right, man. You right.
You know what I mean? So
Man.
it's like it's been crazy, man. It's been crazy. That's why I haven't been doing the live streams, man. Because I was just like, nah, man, I can't do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I was just like I said in the videos, man. I wanted to get back and speaking to you guys, innit? Because it's been a while. It's been a
Yeah.
while, man. You've been watching boxing. You've been
I've been
watching the
watching a little bit. I've been real busy, so I haven't been keeping up with it as much. But I tell you what, um, man, the saddest thing I've seen in a
yeah.
long time is Deontay Wilder taking that whipping like he took.
Oh yeah, man. That was. I thought he did well though. I thought he gave it his best shot. You know what I mean? He did as well as he could have done in that fight. He
I
dropped him
think
well.
me personally, I think towards the end there, I think he
Yeah,
looked real bad, man. It was a real bad beating he took. And you know what, Imran?
yeah.
He could have, in theory, Deontay Wilder could have avoided that because he campaigned and he kept on asking for the fight, and he had a chance to circumvent that. He had a chance to go out, with that questionable loss. The last one being a questionable loss, but he just had to keep pushing the issue. And you know what, man? You know as well as I know, as well as all the boxing community know that he wasn't gonna beat Tyson Fury.
Yeah. What did you make of Joshua, man? Couple of weeks earlier.
You know what, man? You know what? I've lost faith in Anthony Joshua. I'm not even gonna front. I love Joshua Anthony. I mean Anthony Joshua because I used to see him as a good fighter, but he's just not reliable, man. He
Mm.
just don't get no heart at all, man.
Mm-hmm. Thing is, Wilder against Fury showed a lot of heart, though. I gotta give it him, man. He showed,
Yeah,
he
but
showed heart, man.
he
Wow.
showed heart, man. But at some point, man, the heart translates into just a senseless. ass whooping.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
not
I
trying to,
agree. Yeah, 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 I get what you're coming from, man. I get where you're coming from. It's like just taking a beating for no reason. It's not
yeah.
getting anywhere.
Mm,
I reckon obviously because he dropped him in the fourth round, was it? He dropped Fury a couple of
mm-hmm.
times. Probably thought, I've still got this. I still can do it. But yeah, I thought like after that, I felt like Fury started dominating, started pushing him on the back. But coming back to Joshua, right? Usyk, man, he destroyed Joshua in that fight. He took him. Let's be honest, he took him apart.
Hey man, that's what we said. That's what we always said. We always said that Usyk, man. Hey, you better be on the lookout for Usyk. Usyk ain't no sucker.
Mhm.
Usyk has shown that
Yeah,
at
yeah.
times he a real killer. You know, he for real
Mm-hmm.
for real deal killer. And he showed that against
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Joshua. I don't think Anthony Joshua. I'm not saying that Anthony Joshua underestimated him or took him lightly. I just
Mm.
think Usyk is that good of a fighter.
Mm. Do you think Joshua has any chance in the rematch?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he has a chance in the rematch. I think he might even beat Usyk in the rematch because that's what Joshua does. But
Mm.
that's not saying a lot for Joshua.
Mm.
That doesn't say a lot about him. You got to
Mm.
be focused, man. You got to be focused 100% of the time. That's my boy Ray. What up, Ray?
Yeah, Ray's in the house. Ray, you gotta come on today, man. You gotta come on. It's been ages. It's been ages. You gotta come on.
It's my
But
boy
yeah,
Ray.
coming back to it, man. Yeah, I was disappointed. Coming to Canelo now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And next week we got a massive fight. Massive fight. Yo, Andre Ward says Caleb Plant is gonna knock Canelo out. Do you
Well,
agree?
man. Well, here's the thing about that. Andre Ward obviously has
Yeah.
sentimental and he has a bond with Caleb Plant. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
we know that they're
Mm-hmm.
the cronies, they're partners, they're friends and everything. I think
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they kind of people kind of tend to put their friendship before saying what's really going on, the logic in it. But I think listen, man, I'm not here to say that Caleb Plant is gonna, I'm counting him out. I've always been vocal about that.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see how he's gonna pull up the upset with Canelo, in giving Canelo speed and his, Canelo just in his prime. He's in his prime of prime. He's
Mm-hmm.
Optimus Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Canelo is Optimus Prime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that fight, man. I can't wait. I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good, man. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna. I think it should be a great fight.
Mm-hmm.
Next week. We've had a lot of big fights. We've had like Joshua Usyk, Wilder, Fury, um, and now obviously Plant and thing, and then we got Crawford Porter as well.
Mm-hmm. But that's
What a
that's
fight
gonna be a
that is.
banger, man. But hold on, let me say something real quick, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, man, listen, I'm saying it right now. I think Steven Shakur. I think
Oh,
Steven
Shakur
Shakur.
Stevens. Shakur
Yeah,
Stevens.
yeah, yeah. Shakur Stevenson. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, yeah,
I think he is quite possibly the best pound for pound, fluid, skilled fighter in the game now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't see nobody. I don't see nobody beating him. They
Mm-hmm.
got a real problem in their hands with Shakur Stevens.
Yeah,
Shakur,
yeah.
especially now that Shakur is gaining weight and he's gonna move up in weight and he's learning how to carry his weight to the next weight class and he don't have them feather hands
Mm,
like Devin Haney. Devin the
mm,
Dream Haney got them old soft hands. He
mm,
hit you, you don't feel nothing. Shakur
mm.
Stevenson will he will beat the brakes off of you.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
got a problem with Steven Shakur, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear you, man. I
Shakur
think that
Stevenson.
guy is exceptional, man. I think he's an exceptional fighter. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think he beats Ryan Garcia? Do you think he beats Javante Davis? Do you think he beats Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez?
I think he beat him out on. I think he beat them all on the same day, man.
You
That
reckon?
dude's incredible, man.
He is. He's
He
good.
beat them all on the same night, man.
Yeah, yeah. He's good, man. He is good. I think the only fight I don't know, man. I think maybe Tiafimo, possibly. I don't know that. I favor him in all of them. I think he's so skilled, and he's
He's
very.
he's he's he's, he's man, he's almost too skilled, man. It's
Yeah,
almost like a cheat code. It's
yeah,
almost like, damn, who do you put in there to
yeah,
compete with him? Because he's so incredibly skilled, man. They got
yeah.
a problem in their hands, man. People talk about uh 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 people talk about Terrence Crawford and all these other fighters that got exceptional skill. Man, Shakur is the real he a for real killer, man.
Mm-hmm. What are you making of all this Android stuff, man? Andre, Charlo, Golovkin, not fighting each other, man. Not fighting each other.
It's the same pot, man. It's the same pot of stew stirred up over and over and over again. The stew ain't got no seasoning in it. It's
Mm,
bland. It don't taste good. You've eaten it 1,000 different times. It's just it's lackluster. It doesn't have any bones to it. It don't have any taste to it at this point. So I think, man, you know that and until they say, you know what, we gonna stop talking and start scrapping, start squabbing, you know, then I'll you know, then I'll pay more attention. But right now, it ain't got no teeth to me, man. What you
mm.
say?
Yeah, man. Just before I give my thought, Sito, I'm trying to get you keep coming in and you keep going out. I don't know what it is. It's probably your connection, your Wi-Fi or something at home. I see you keep coming in, but then you keep disconnecting for some reason. I don't know what's going on at your end. But yeah, in terms of me, man, I just want to see him fight. I want to see Demetrius Andrade fight somebody. I want to see Charlo fight. How these two are not fighting each other. Demetrius Andrade is reportedly fighting Jason Quigley next. And Charlo, I don't know what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
We know that a unification fight trumps all mandatories, right?
Mhm. Right,
So
right.
why not them two just getting with each other? I don't understand. And even Eddie Hearns even said that he's willing to let Demetrius Andrade fight on Fox. So what's the
Yeah,
whole?
that's you know, that's the question, man. I wish I had the answer as to why they don't choose to fight each other, man. I wish I had the answer. May if I could speculate, you know, maybe because they're afraid to risk it all because they see each other as a formidable opponent. Maybe that's it, but
Hmm.
that's not what boxing's about. I'm not sure, man. I know it's become boring to me. It's become mundane.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
typical, you know, it's the same thing over and over again with them.
yeah. It's getting a bit boring now, isn't it?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
What do you think about that fight? Who wins for you, Andrade or Charlo?
I say Andrade.
Mm,
I say
mm.
Demetrius, man.
Yeah,
You don't like Demetrius. I don't think you like Demetrius
I
too much.
think I favor him in that fight.
Hmm.
Favor him to beat Charlo slightly. Like I'm not convinced. Like I think
Hmm.
Charlo could beat him. Like I'm not convinced, but I favor him in that fight. But I don't know about Golovkin, man. Don't know about Golovkin.
Nah, man. Golovkin is still he's still as dangerous as he was 2 or 3 years ago. He
Yeah,
has
yeah,
that dynamite in the hands, man, and he could take a punch.
yeah, yeah,
And, and what a lot of people don't understand about him too, he knows his way around the ring. He ain't
yeah,
no
yeah,
spring
yeah.
chicken.
Mm, yeah,
So it don't go in there thinking that you're gonna outbox him and you're gonna move, you know, be able to evade his power and his pressing because he knows his way around that ring.
mm-hmm.
And he can
Brendan
take him as well as much as he give him.
Brendan Jackson says, I think Andrade could manage to be slick enough for Charlo. Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think Charlo struggles against that style as well, you know.
Hmm.
You know
Yeah.
that slick southpaw. Like, you know, when we fight with Korobov, a lot of people thought he lost.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know whether that style's all wrong for you know, Charlo, to be honest.
Well, hopefully Charlo is has using his time after this fight, and you know I understand that he's undergone some, he's gotten in some legal trouble. Um,
Yeah.
and you know, hopefully he's kind of refining himself, and him and Ronnie Shields have developed another strategy other
Mm,
than to just, you know, because at times he can look a little bit too robotic and
mm,
like everything's, you know, like it's choreographed, and I
Mm.
just don't think that that's gonna fare well against a fighter like Andrade. Demetrius he gonna be moving, he gonna be punching him, he gonna be in and out there, he gonna be knocking his block off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good fight, man. That's a great fight. Benavidez, you hear what you hear what he had to say?
What did he say?
He says that Canelo, like if I fight Canelo, I'll put a hurting on him. He said I would put a hurting on Canelo.
What I've been telling you? I've been telling you that he would.
Do you reckon? You think Benavidez would beat Canelo? A
Man,
lot,
I've always said that.
a lot of people seem to think that, man. I don't know. I think his defense not no good.
He ain't gonna need no defense against Canelo, man.
You don't think so?
No, man. The dude punched. The dude punched 30,000 times a minute. He's gonna
Mm.
be too much for Canelo. He's way bigger than Canelo.
Yeah, he is. He is bigger, but I don't know, man. He look again. You know how you said robotic? He looks a bit robotic to me. Like he looks a little slow at times.
A robot in there whooping your ass.
I don't know. I know, Stephen. I like. You know what I like? To be honest, I think would he beat Plant Benavidez?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I
He beats
like.
Plant.
I like the Beterbiev fight for Canelo if he beats Plant. Is that a tougher fight? Who's a tougher fight, Benavidez or Beterbiev?
Oh, oh. I
Hmm.
probably have to say that's a good question, man. But I probably have to say, man, to be honest with you, I probably have
Yeah.
to say Benavidez, man.
Ooh, do you think Benavidez could beat Beterbiev?
Yeah, I think he could be. I like Benavidez.
Hmm. I know. Again, he's fighting Jose Utsakatsi, right? We're gonna learn
Mm-hmm.
more about Benavidez, right?
We're gonna learn more. Mm-hmm.
We haven't really seen enough against top quality opposition. But isn't that the same story about every fighter today that we want to see? Like, oh, we haven't seen him against top quality opposition.
Mm-hmm.
All nonsense, ain't it? Like they just don't fight each other anymore, man. It's not like the old days where they used to fight each other,
Yeah.
and it's
Like the old
frustrating.
days when you know, you had Tito. Tito fought Fernando.
Hmm.
Fernando fought Oscar.
Yeah, yeah,
Oscar fought Ike. You know, what I'm saying? Shane Mosley.
yeah.
They were all giving it to each other.
Yeah, 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 yeah. They're not fighting each other, man. It's frustrating. It is frustrating. I don't know. I honestly, Terence Crawford, Sean Porter. I can't wait for that one, man. I'm looking.
What do you think about that?
You know what? I was speaking to Ray as well, and both of me and Ray think he's gonna stop Porter, right? Some people think Porter might nick it, and some people are saying Terence Crawford's going to win by unanimous decision. What is your opinion on it? I'll give you my opinion, Stephen. I think Terence Crawford will put on a masterclass, and I believe he'll be the first guy to outclass and stop Sean Porter. I'm putting it out there.
Well, I mean, my brother says the same thing. You know, me and my brother, we had a discussion about that the other day, and he seems to think the same thing. I just think that, yeah, obviously Terence Crawford is going to win the fight, but does he have enough?
Power.
Does he have enough gusto to stop the likes of Bashan Porter, somebody
Yeah.
who is? I don't see that happening. I don't see him stopping him. Now
Mm-hmm.
I do see him winning, but
Mm-hmm.
not by a large margin. You know, not like it's so definitive. Who has beat Sean Porter like that? But like you said, that's
Nobody.
the first
Nobody.
thing.
Nobody. Nobody has beaten Sean Porter like that. That's why I'm saying that could he separate himself from the pack? You know, Spence couldn't do it. He couldn't separate. I thought Spence would be the man to do it. I thought Spence would be the man to separate himself and beat Sean Porter, you know, like up, like, you know, and outclass him. I don't think Spence really did that. That fight was very close. But this is an interesting point. Easty says Bud the most disappointing to me. I know he can beat all of them at 135, 54, including Charlo, but the fight's just happening. What's your take on that?
I don't agree with that.
Charlo might be a little big, but I don't know. I don't know. I would love to see him fight Charlo. I'd love to see it, but it's not gonna happen, is it? Realistically.
No, it's not, it'll never happen. Because number one, Bud is older now. He's about to retire. He's gonna be retire in a couple of years. You know, he don't want to go up to 154 and be battling out with them people. He don't want that. And Jamel is way too big for him. He's way too big for him. So I don't know. I think we have a tendency to our favorite fighter. We put a God status on them. Me, I'm putting God status on who I see perform with my eyes, the eye test, like somebody like Shakur, like you said, Shakur. Another one that's that I like is like Jerron.
Yeah, he's a killer. He's a killer.
So those that's who I'm where I see the most. I like Teofimo. I like Javon.
Steven, this is a good point. Robert Martinez, sorry, cheers for the super chat. It says here, he's saying Jacob is trying to win a title at 175 and meet Canelo there for a rematch. Does that interest you? Danny Jacobs.
No, Danny Jacobs, man. No, it doesn't. Because Danny Jacobs, he don't ever do nothing, man.
Yeah.
He got all the talent in the world, but he get in there and he look like a totally different fighter.
Yeah. You know what? He fought Golovkin and Canelo, and he did really like I thought some people thought he beat Golovkin.
Yeah.
And then against Canelo, he was very competitive. Let's be honest. That was a very competitive fight against Golovkin, Steven. I mean, sorry, against Canelo. That was very competitive. You know, I ain't seen Canelo been in a competitive fight like that. Like Canelo's been washing guys, and Jacobs was really competitive. You know,
it was. But the point I'm making is that Danny Jacobs, he doesn't give it his all. At times, you kind of baffled by his
performance.
His choices. Yeah, his performance.
Did you see his performance against Rosado?
Yeah, I seen that. That was weird. That was almost strange.
Did you think he won that fight?
No, I think Rosado won that fight.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Like Rosado, what's Rosado known as, Steven?
He's a gatekeeper.
Yeah. That's what everybody says about him. Do you know what I mean? Not in a disrespectful way. He's a game gatekeeper. He's tough as anything. But against the guys,
but nonetheless a gatekeeper.
Yeah. He don't win. Let's be honest. Against the top guys, he doesn't win. But I thought he beat Jacobs. So is that Jacobs past his best, or is Jacobs? I don't know. You can't say that because he fought Canelo and Golovkin and he gave him a great fight. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But I'm not interested. I'm not interested in that.
I'm not interested either.
Yeah.
What potential? What's your dream fight right now?
My dream fight. You know what I'm gonna say. Terence Crawford v. Errol Spence. Oh yeah, I want to discuss with you because I saw your comment about that fight. You said a healthy Errol Spence beats Crawford. I agree. I don't believe Errol Spence beats Crawford now. I don't think so.
Well, Imran, I don't know, man. I think right now it's too early to. We don't even know what the guy's health state is.
Yeah,
we don't know what's going on with him. So yeah, obviously unhealthy, less than 100%. Errol Spence, he loses. So, I mean, I don't think Errol Spence right now with the questions we have. I don't think you can pick him over But a healthy Earl Spence is gonna beat Bud.
So Easty is going in. So Brendan Jackson says no one really has the dimensions of Crawford if we're going off the eye test only. Yeah, fair point. And here goes. He goes. Healthy Errol Spence couldn't stop Mikey. Stop it. He's saying there's no way that Errol Spence beats Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford. Yeah, there's a lot of people that think that as well. I always favored Errol Spence just because I thought Errol Spence is a very good boxer. He's technically sound and he's big. He's strong. He takes a good punch. And I thought that would be a hard fight for Crawford.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Imran.
Yeah.
All right, let me tell you something. Mikey Garcia in there with Earl Spence. Number one, he shouldn't been in there.
Yeah.
But number two is Mikey did everything in his power not to get knocked out.
Agree.
It's hard to knock out somebody who's trying not to get knocked out.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
this, but come on, man. I mean, some of y'all dudes, man, y'all got to come with something better than that, man. I mean, Earl Spence he was doing everything, but trying to save his life. Mikey Garcia's life. Mikey Garcia looked horrible in there. He looked horrible in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know. What else did he say about? What else was he saying about? He said something about Crawford. What did he say?
He said, no, I think that was Brendan that says, no, if we're going off the eye test, no one really has the dimensions of Terence Crawford.
Yeah. I see a lot of fighters that they have those same dimensions. What does he mean by that? What are you meaning by that, Brandon? Because Brendan he's pretty intelligent. I like talking to him.
Yeah, Brendan makes some really good points, to be fair.
So let's see what he means. Exactly what he means.
Maybe the fact that like he can go southpaw, he can fight orthodox. He's got a lot. He's got all the punches in the book. He's fast. He's got quick feet. He's got power. He's kind of like complete. Like Errol Spence is a bit slow on his feet. He's not as far, not as athletically as gifted as Crawford.
Yeah, he's mechanical.
Yeah, more mechanical. He like a bit like Joshua, but not like Joshua. Joshua has like a lot of issues where Spence don't have those issues, but he kind of has that similar style. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That similar kind of robotic, like you just said, mechanical style. But obviously, he's very good at that style. He's very good at what he does.
Yeah, he's very adept at it. And one observation about Spence is that Spence is he is. I mean, to reckon him or to make the analogy to him being a machine, he's just that. A machine in the factory isn't gonna make human flaws. Now you can hand build there's craftsmanship that you got to take in consideration when you build your own stuff. But a machine doing is going to do it precisely. It's going to do the same job every single time, and that's what Earl Spence is. He's going to do the same job almost mechanically the same time over and over and over and over again.
What's going on, Art Espinoza? I hope you're well. Salute to Chiquiano Prophet. I hope you're well. He goes, a sleeper says, even with steroids, Plant can't win. Oh, man, let's not talk about steroids and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially not with Canelo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I again, I don't think this is gonna be L for Caleb Plant. No, I don't think this is gonna be a win for Caleb Plant. But I'm just saying, let's not. Caleb Plant is suitable. He's a suitable opponent. You just gotta take that in consideration. Caleb Plant can box his ass off.
Hazel Hernandez says, not even GGG was able to knock down Canelo. Caleb Plant has a few chances to win by UD, even less by KO. Yeah, he ain't winning that fight by KO. I can't see it, man.
And he ain't winning it by you. Let's just be honest with each other. With Canelo having that name that he has, if it goes to the scorecards, I don't think he's gonna get the nod because he don't have the name that Canelo has.
No.
It's all about that name, guys.
Yeah.
You got to get
But
that
he's also
name.
fighting. Canelo's fighting on his thing as well because Fox are doing it. So I don't know. I don't know, man.
I just think it'll be a catastrophe if they gave Clint the nod with
Mm,
Canelo having this momentum. Listen, man, Canelo is not all just about boxing.
mm,
He represents for a whole entire country that
mm,
promote him, and he's more or less a cash cow. He's a cash cow to not only boxing but a lot of different other companies that sponsor him and stuff. They ain't
mm,
willing to forego that.
mm.
You gonna have to knock Canelo out
Yeah,
to get the nod. We seen
yeah,
it happen with Gennady. That first fight, and you know, a lot of people don't, you know, I don't feel like dealing with the chat, but
mm,
a lot of people don't, you know, what I'm saying don't believe he won the second fight. So but that first fight he lost to Gennady.
yeah. Oh,
Gennady.
yeah, 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 yeah. I openly say that. I didn't. I
Mm-hmm.
thought Canelo won the second. I think you think that Canelo won. Um, I think you said that Canelo, Golovkin. You felt Golovkin won both.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I thought Canelo won the second one, and I thought Golovkin won the first one. I think the first one was no question. I think there was no doubt about Canelo losing that first fight. Golovkin won that. In my opinion, I don't know what people thought, but I thought Golovkin was. Yeah. So Easty has come back. Easty has come back to you, Stephen, and he
Come
says
on, EC. Come on.
footwork, footwork, angles, hand speed, IQ, switch hitting.
I agree with you, man. Easty, I agree with you, man. No arguments for me. Who else?
Nothing. You're not gonna come back to
No, because I
Easty or
agree with him. Yeah,
yeah.
I agree with him. He's saying that Bud has the footwork, the angles, the hand speed, switch
Mm.
hitting. Yeah, there's not too many fighters like that, but they are out there that could do it. I think Teofimo could do it pretty good. I
Okay.
think.
See, I was gonna ask you a question. If
Mhm.
Terence Crawford beats the okay, Easty said something else. He said something else which I found very interesting. Actually, where's it gone? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? He goes, I thought Spence was that guy too. But after the close Porter fight, you'll see the difference when Bud beats the brakes off Porter. I wanted to ask you, leading on to that, if Crawford does dismantle Porter, would your opinion about Crawford, where would you rate him? And also, would your opinion about that Spence fight change?
Okay. Did you see Joe Frazier fight Muhammad Ali?
Yeah, yeah,
It was tooth and nail, kind of like almost the same fight
yeah,
as Earl Spence, Sean Porter. Did you
mm,
see Did you see Joe Frazier fight George Foreman?
yeah,
Different fights. You
yeah,
got
yeah.
it now.
Styles
Different
make
fights.
fights.
Yeah,
Styles make fights.
styles make fights, man.
I'd agree. I'd agree with you. I'd agree with you there, man. I would. But would your opinion about Crawford's ranking pound for pound, where you would rank him, change?
No, it's not gonna change. No, hell no, it ain't gonna change because he beat Sean Porter.
Really?
No, it ain't gonna change, man. No,
Where
no.
do you rank Crawford pound for pound?
Uh, uh, what I were rank Bud pound for pound.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
Canelo's
right
number
now,
one. Hey?
who's number one for me? Tyson Fury's number one.
Oh, really? You think Tyson
Tyson
Fury?
Fury's number one.
Right,
He's
fair enough.
numero uno.
What about Usyk?
Usyk will probably be number three. Canelo
Right,
number two. Earl
right,
Spence number four.
right. Fair enough.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Now
What about
those
Inoue?
a new wave number five. They all
Yeah, yeah,
interchange. You know.
yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Ah,
Yeah.
so
Come on, man.
Sleepers Sleeper says all BS aside, there is levels and Plant is not there. Canelo has too much experience against elite, too much ring IQ, too much power. Plant doesn't stand a chance.
You might
Wow.
be right. You know, sleep. What's his name? Sleeper.
Sleeper, yeah.
Sleeper, sleeper. You might be right about that, my man. You might be right about that. But shit, I done seen. But shoot, I done seen a lot of things happen that I didn't forecast. Nobody thought that Anthony Joshua was gonna go in there and get not only beat but outclassed.
Hmm.
So scarier things happen. Things happen. The
Mm-hmm.
circumstances change. We don't gauge for this stuff. All I'm saying is don't count the guy out.
Yeah, I'd
I'm not
agree.
saying he's gonna win. I'm not saying he's gonna win, but don't count him out. Caleb is a hoss.
Do you think Caleb's being disrespected? Like he's not being given the credit by some of the people. Like, do you
Yeah,
think
it's the same.
he's gonna surprise
Yeah,
people?
that's a good point, Imran. That's good. He is, man. It's the same thing that happened with Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, who's is one of my
Ugas.
favorite fighters of all time when he fought Ugas. Nobody gave the boy Ugas no credit, man. No, I mean they didn't respect him. So Ugas said, you know what, man, I'll make you respect me. I'm gonna make you respect me. And he went in there, he handled his beeswax.
Hmm. Yeah, man, he did. He did. That was an incredible performance.
For
Great,
us, man.
unbelievable. East D says you can create a you can create a machines. Humans are smarter and adaptive. Crawford can adapt like no one else. There's a lot of
Man, listen,
love for Crawford, man. There's a lot of love. East D is a
I
big.
know. Yeah. I get that, man. All I'm saying is that is no two ways of putting there. There's a certain thing called human error. Okay, you want to get on a scientifical, and you want to take it to a scientifical level. There's human error. Okay, and but a machine is calibrated, is built to perform the same job with the same precision, the same outcome each and every time. That's just facts. That's just
Mm,
fact. You have now humans, humans supersede, our humans are superior to machines in that we have the intellect and we have the ingenuity and we have hundreds of thousands of years of creating and constructing that make us superior. But a machine, I could build a machine that's my size, the same dimensions of me, but that machine could have the strength of 30 people. You get what I'm saying?
mm, yeah,
So that's
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. A lot of questions coming in. Sleeper says only win for Plant is the 10 mil he's getting.
ha 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 ha. I like that. I laugh too. Ha
Yeah, yeah.
ha ha ha.
So fair enough though.
Sweet.
He's got an opportunity to shock everyone. So I can't. I think Plant's gonna put up a good effort, but yeah, come up short. Bud switch hitting, defensive responsibility, level of fighting on the outside and inside, punching power, and ability to get you out of there. He has you hurt when he has you hurt. He's a nod above everyone skill wise.
You know
Says,
what? You know what else is also a element of Bud is that chinny chin chin he got. He get
oh
hit with chinny chin chin. It can change, man. That's all
yeah,
I'm saying. I ain't saying that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man. I got much respect for the boy. I think. I'm gonna say it right now. I think Bud Crawford is a certified killer, but he has some vulnerabilities as everybody else does.
hmm. So Burning Desire is asking AJ v Usyk, who wins it? It looks like AJ is defo going for the KO this time.
That's what we thought last time.
Yeah, that's
That's what
yeah.
we
I,
thought last
I favor Usyk. I favor Usyk. In that rematch.
time. Listen, man. Real talk, man. All jokes aside, with all seriousness, I favor Usyk too, man.
Yeah, yeah. I just think Joshua mentally, I don't know where he's at, man. He's gun shy. He's scared to throw punches. I feel like I don't know whether you can get over that. Like, I just don't know. Like, you know, when Maidana beat the crap out of Adrian Broner,
Mm-hmm.
I just felt
Yeah.
like that just changed him. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like the Ruiz loss changed Joshua. I just think it
Mm-hmm.
knocked his confidence for 6. And I just
Well,
don't think he's the same man.
you know what, man. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something that you might find a little profound,
Mm,
and you might be like, damn, you for real, Steve? Are you sure, Steven?
mm,
But I never really saw what everybody else saw in Adrian Broner. It's almost like,
yeah,
like here in the States, there's a rapper named Jay-Z, and
yeah.
everybody says that Jay-Z is the best rapper of all time and stuff. I just don't see that. I just don't see that. And I never saw that in Adrian Broner. So it wasn't a shock to me that Adrian Broner lost that fight.
When you say Jay-Z, you're talking about Beyonce's husband.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Her,
yeah, yeah. To be honest, I had to kind of agree with you. I don't know what he's done to be called. I don't know. Like maybe he has. I haven't really followed his music.
hmm
I haven't followed Jay-Z as an artist. So, but yeah,
yeah,
I kind of agree with you in the sense that, you know, like how you have some artists that are really big and you could name off like 10, 12 of their tracks. With
right,
Jay-Z,
right.
I couldn't name off many at all, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
hmm
Like I don't know much about his music. All I know, he's a massive name, and to be honest, I think he's more famous for his wife than that's what I would say. A lot more people know about his wife back in the day, because I remember like everyone had a crush on Beyonce back in the day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beyonce, yeah, that could be true, man. But what I'm saying, I'm a hip hop head. What I'm
Yeah,
saying, I know Jay-Z from when he was with the Juice Crew. What I'm saying, and when he rapped with Jazz O and all them. But that's we kind of getting off on something else. I
yeah,
just don't
yeah,
see,
yeah.
I didn't see what everybody else saw in him.
In Adrian
So
Broner, you were saying.
and yeah, well, Adrian Broner as it pertains to him.
Yeah, I felt for me, Adrian Broner is I never rated him. I am same as you. I never ever rated Adrian Broner. And I didn't rate him from the start. I saw him, the first fight that I ever saw of Adrian Broner was against Gavin Reese. And
hmm
after that fight, everybody was saying he's the next Mayweather. Like not that fight, but people before were saying he's the next Mayweather. And I just couldn't see what people were seeing in Adrian Broner. I was like, this guy's not Adrian Broner. Like, I mean, this guy's not Floyd Mayweather. I can tell he's not Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
hmm
and I was just like, nah, this guy's nah. I'm not seeing it. You know what?
hmm
There's a question coming which I read. Yeah, so Raphael, cheers for the super chat. I'll give this to Stephen. We miss Prime Spence v Crawford. EJ is not the same, says Raphael.
Yeah, I think I'm more, of course I don't know. I'm not Allah, I'm not God. So I can't tell you exactly if that's true or not.
Mm,
But my intuition is telling me that EJ Earl Spence Jr. is not the same. And I think that you're right, man, Raphael. I think we missed it, man. We missed it. You know what I'm saying?
mm, horrible, horrible that we missed it. Horrible. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put another. There's so many questions here. Crawford can knock out Spence in the first round, and there will still be excuses. No, and there won't be. There won't be. If Crawford
If we
knocks
knock
that
him out in
Spence,
the first round, yeah.
there won't be any excuses then. That's not going to happen, by the way. That's not going to
Yeah.
happen. You know, Crawford's not going to knock out. I don't think Crawford would knock out Spence. I think he'd win by decision if he's going to win. He ain't knocking out Spence, in my opinion. But I
Yeah.
think Spence is too defensively sound,
Mm,
and he takes a good punch.
yeah,
I think there's a knockout in that fight. It's the other way.
yeah.
Would you agree, Stephen?
I agree, man.
Migo, what's going on? Migo? I think
You're breathing
Migo's
hard, my man.
yeah,
Miguel was
yeah,
breathing hard.
yeah,
Like he was
yeah,
getting busy or something.
yeah. I know. I don't know what is going on there. I think Migo was struggling. there with his Wi-Fi. Says Hazel says Canelo said he might fight Charlo after Plant because he doesn't want to fight another Mexican like Benavidez, Zordo, Ramirez, Munguia. Might fight. Are you interested in that Charlo fight? Canelo Charlo.
I was at one point. I'm kind of losing interest now. I
Yeah, yeah.
mean, if he's been for real, then I guess I will get back interested. But I'm not. But I would like to see some of these. I like to see him fight Jaime. I think he'll put hands on Jaime. I think he'll knock Jaime out. But I think it'll be a good test for Jaime.
Mm-hmm.
Canelo versus Jaime. What do you say?
Munguia, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not a big fan of Munguia. He swings like I think he's a. I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Yeah, yeah. Why not? It's why not? It
Yeah,
won't be.
just so Jaime could have that under his belt and
Mm,
get the experience. It's gonna make him a better fighter in the long run.
yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree. Marky Dan, thanks for the super chat. It says here EJ has fought once in 26 months. Think about that. Wow. Once
Mm,
in 26. That's 2 years. That's over 2 years, Stephen. He's fought once.
yeah,
Wow.
man. But listen, man, he ain't fought once because it was his choice.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
he's been a victim of certain things. He didn't ask for the eye injury. I don't think
Yeah,
he said to the boxer guy, he said, please, I don't want to fight no more. I just want to fight once in 28 months. So
yeah.
injure my eye. He didn't ask for that.
Let's be honest, Stephen. Spence was going down the wrong track. Let's be real. When he had that accident, he was, I don't really like talking about fighters' personal life because everyone gets up to stuff. But when you're an athlete and you're a guy at that kind of level, at that elite level, right? We were hearing stuff about Spence. He likes the party life, and he was getting off, and even driving. He was driving at some speed as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
So
know what I mean?
yeah, so there his actions did lead to that accident. But I'm just saying that I don't think it's by choice that he's not fighting.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
think
no, 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 yeah.
like he ducking. He ain't no Floyd Mayweather or somebody like that. He want to get in there. He want to be in there.
Hmm. You know what I will say though, it was a miracle how Spence came back because when I saw that accident, that was scary.
There was.
That
It
was
was.
scary. That was some scary stuff. After seeing that accident, like you'd think that that person isn't coming out alive. So Spence is a freak of nature to
Yeah, he
not
is, man.
not just come back and like live a healthy life, but then be able to fight. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Crazy. Spence used to be one of my favorite fighters back then. Like I was, I was like I am now with Canelo. I thought Spence would be that because I thought Spence was that guy. I thought he had everything going for him, and then all of a sudden, all of this has happened. Then he's become inactive.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just kind of gone a bit pear-shaped with Spence, man. I was expecting a lot more. And I don't know what I was expecting from him. I don't know whether he'll achieve that now. But
Yeah. Yeah. And then, you know what? And when it's all said and done, if what we're talking about, if what we're speculating comes to fruition, it's going to be one of the saddest things,
mm,
one of the most depressing things for me to have witnessed in boxing because he was a star, and I don't want to talk about him as past tense, but he's a star, and it's going to be a shame. It'll be a travesty if we don't see him go on to perform in some of these big exuberant fights.
yeah, I'd have to agree, man. I'd have to agree. I wanted to see him fight. I even thought one point that him and Canelo would get it on, but now that's a dream. That's no long. That's just even back then. Even Spence at his best would be it'd be kind of a stretch. But now I think that's just not possible anymore. Which is a shame.
What you think about what you think about Rolly and
Oh
Javante
yeah,
going?
yeah, yeah. I think Javante is gonna knock him out.
Yeah, Javante's probably gonna clean his clock.
I think
Javante,
Broly's quite rude as well, to be honest. He comes across. I don't know. I'm not really for him to be like. I think he's quite rude, to be honest, and I want Tank to beat
Yeah,
him. I mean,
yeah, yeah. It'd be interesting to see what some of your viewers say about Rolly because, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I think Rolly does get on my nerves too, man. He's brash and
he,
he's
his banter's not
prideful.
his banter's not. It doesn't like how that some people make you laugh like Tyson Fury, like
Mm-hmm.
this guy, like he's not funny for me. Like it's something that maybe a 5-year-old or maybe
Right,
a 12, 13, 14-year-old, 15, 16-year-old might find funny. But like
right.
us mature guys, that's we just don't find like some of the stuff that he was saying even in the press conference. He was saying like, oh, you got T-Rex arms and this, that, and the other. Why does that matter if he's got
Yeah,
T-Rex arms? Like,
right,
prove it.
right.
Prove it in the fight. Thurman said that. The last time someone said that was Keith Thurman against Pacquiao. We saw how
Yeah,
that played out, right? Them
yeah,
T-Rex arms did some serious damage. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So, like, yeah, I just don't find that guy. I just don't. Yeah, I
Hey
just
man,
don't.
let me ask you something real quick, Imran. Out of the boxers that troll, who was the best troller? Was it Mayorga? Was it Tyson Fury? To me, I like Tony Harrison. Who was your all time troller?
Uh, I'd have to say, what do you mean by troller? Like, I
Uh,
don't
wh-
really. I wouldn't want to call Muhammad Ali a troller. You know what I
mhm,
mean? Because obviously he was just so great. But yeah, I would have to say him. I'd have to say like like thing is, like someone like we're talking about Rolly, right?
mhm, mhm,
Like Muhammad Ali, like even like when he was bantering fighters, like I could sit and listen to Muhammad Ali all day.
mhm,
Like, his even now, even though like we're in 2021 and he was
mhm.
what around in the 70s and 60s and where you think to yourself, right? Like even now we find him funny, we find him interesting.
Right, right. Even now,
Like we love to listen to him. Like how many of us would go like when we're down or something, listen to Muhammad Ali and get cheered up?
right, 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 right.
You know what
I'm
I
just
mean?
saying. I'm just saying with Ricardo Mayorga, he's coming in a ring smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, he was he was wild, man. He was
Yeah, he
wild.
was.
Like I won't say call him a troll. I just say he was wild. Like you gotta be when you're around him, you don't know what he's gonna do. Like
You don't know what he's gonna do.
like he's gonna say some crazy stuff. 1 minute he's like slapping someone's wife, and you know what I mean. The guy's a bit like he's just a bit wild, to be honest. Like he's a bit
Yeah,
wild.
he was. Yeah,
He's really wild. Like I don't know. Like maybe he's just come from that kind of that kind of background. But he was tough as nails as well. To be fair.
he sure was. He sure
Yeah,
was.
he was tough as anything. But yeah, he was wild, man. He was proper wild. Yeah, not many fighters, not many. You don't get many fighters like that. He was just wild, proper
Yeah,
wild.
yeah.
Someone's asking, when Maidana beat Broner,
Hmm.
you know, do you think it was just that? Like, obviously, you said you don't really rate Broner, but do you think that made Broner worse than what he was, or do you think Broner just wasn't any good?
I don't think Bronner was. Obviously, I don't think he was what they were projecting him to be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I don't think he was. I don't think he was that good. But
yeah,
I think that was a fight that broke him. That you know what I'm saying. When you have sometimes it's that one fight to decimate the rest of your career.
Hmm.
We seen it happen before. We seen it happen with Jermaine Taylor.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we
He was a
seen it
great
happen
fighter, though.
before.
He was a great fighter, though.
He was a great fighter. He was a great. We seen it happen with bad Chad Dawson.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Chad Dawson. He was another great fighter.
Hmm. We
You know,
seen it happen before.
yeah, man. Thing is with Broner, though, I think the names that you just took there in Dawson and Taylor, they were actually really good. I
Hmm.
I know, like it's hard to say because Broner's a full weight world champion, but who's he beat? Like I don't like who's he beat top class. Like what?
Right.
Malanaji? Past it Malanaji. And even that fight was disputed. Even many
Mm,
people thought he lost that fight.
yeah.
So who's that? Who's that guy? Who's he really be? I don't really. There's not one name on there that really stands out that you could say was world class. I don't know. I just don't think Broner's like every time he stepped up against anyone that we heard of,
Hmm.
he got totally
Yeah.
dominated. He wasn't
Yeah.
even competitive.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't know.
I just think he was overrated, man. There's just suffice it to say that he was overrated, man.
Yeah, he was. He was. I'd have to agree, man. I'd have to agree. Tank, he's actually good.
Yeah.
Tanks, he's not overrated. Like he's not fighting the top competition, but he's
Mm,
definitely not overrated.
mm,
He's a top fighter.
yeah.
Top fighter.
Yeah. Tank is a killer.
Yeah, he is. He is. He is.
If you wanna really put the definition of a killer, Tank's pictures should be right there.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, he's a great, like, you know what? I don't want to call him great yet because obviously they're not fighting the top competition. And in order to be called great, I feel like you've got to fight the best and beat the best. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And Tank's not doing that at the minute. Maybe you could say Mayweather's, keeping him away from. I don't know why they're keeping him away. I don't know I don't know what when are we gonna have these fights? The lightweight division, none of them have fought each other apart from Tio and Lomachenko.
Yeah. I want to see. I would like to see that match, that rematch, Teofimo and Momochenko. I think it's a closer fight the second time around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I like to see that fight. I like to, I want to see more of these fights, and that's what I will give Javante. Javante, Tank he isn't fighting the best, but he's fighting. You see more of him, and he's entertaining us. He's keeping us in there. He ain't in there, with the best, but at least he's fighting frequently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree with that. At least we're getting to see him. We haven't seen Lopez for over a year.
Now we forgot how Lopez look, man.
And that's
Lopez could
not.
walk in this room right now, and I wouldn't even know and be like, who are you?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. He's not fighting, man. He's not fighting. So what are we missing, man? Is there anything that we haven't spoken about? What about what's your prediction, by the way, then, for Canelo Plant, for Crawford Porter, for Benavidez, Jose Utsakatsi, um, for what other big fights are coming up?
Ain't no, not none that I know of, but you know, all the, my predictions are the the top the A sides are gonna win.
Mm,
The Canelos. I pick, begrudgingly because I love Sean Porter, but begrudgingly I pick Bud, Benavidez, of course. I mean, Tang. Who else did you say? All the name fighters
yeah,
are
yeah,
gonna win.
yeah. I'd agree. I think I'm picking all those guys as well. Um, uh, I, I don't know, but I would love to see some drama in the Canelo Plant fight. I'd love to see Canelo put under some kind of pressure. I want to see
Yeah,
Canelo in a fight. I haven't seen Canelo in a fight. It's been easy for him last couple of fights.
don't hold your breath. You might, yeah. Don't hold your breath. Not on that one. If Canelo was fighting Better Beef, or if he's
Benavidez,
fighting Andrade, or if he was fighting um
Benavidez.
Benavidez, it's a different story. Um, but you know what? I say that, but then again, I like Caleb Plant too, so I
Yeah.
take that back. He might put him under some pressure, man.
Mm-hmm. I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right because I want to see a fight. I want to see Canelo tested, man. I want to see Canelo tested. At the minute, there's not been. Let's be honest, Canelo's not been tested. He's just destroying guys. He's just battering them. Uh,
Hmm.
we all want to see Canelo in a fight. Let's be
Yeah.
let's be real. We all want to see Canelo in a fight. Um,
What did this guy say? He said next Saturday, 168 pounds.
for the undisputed four belts, going alive, win, beat Plant, TKO live in the United States. Oh yeah, he's saying that Plant's gonna TKO. I mean, sorry, no, Canelo beats Plant 11 rounds, TKO.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think many are picking Plant. Andre Ward believes that Caleb Plant is gonna stop him. You know,
Andre Ward. You know my thing about Andre Ward. Can I get something off my chest real quick?
yeah, go on, go on.
My thing about Andre Ward is that I really don't I really don't care for him too much because I
Why?
really don't like the way he treats. I really now I think he was a good boxer, but I really don't care for him as a person. I don't like the way he does Timothy Bradley, and Timothy Bradley to me he has a better wealth of knowledge than Andre Ward, but Andre Ward he kind of comes off as a know-it-all, and he tries to overshadow Timothy Bradley, and I just don't like to Andre Ward that much personally. You know, he was a great fighter, but personally, I don't like him that much, and I mean, I don't trust his word. I don't trust his word when he says, you know, like what is he basing it off of? You know, you get what I'm saying? What is he
Yeah.
basing that uh Caleb Plant is gonna stop Canelo? What is he basing off of? Is that just conjecture? Or is that, you know, I really don't care for Andre Ward that much.
Hmm. I get where you're coming from. Do you think so? Let's just answer this question. This is for you. This is for us. Marky Dan, cheers for the super chat. Navrate gonna stop Valdez. That's my prediction. You think Shakur go after Bashelt for the Ring Magazine belt? I think Shakur beats all of them.
Yeah,
And
Shakur beats all of them, but I don't think Navarreti's gonna stop Valdez
Valdez,
Oscar. He ain't gonna stop Oscar.
no, no. I think, yeah. What do you think? Shakur go after Bashelt?
I think he will. I think he will, but I mean it's no contest. It's I don't see anybody beating him.
Yeah, and also, Stephen, Shakur wants Valdez.
That's who he really wants. He really wants Valdez. That's
Yeah,
who he's campaigning for. But he's just doing that because Valdez got that belt.
yeah, yeah. I'd agree. I want to ask you this, Stephen, your favorite. What you all think about Mike Tyson v Logan Paul?
You want to be honest with you?
Yeah,
I think I think Logan Paul beats Mike Tyson.
really?
Yeah, Mike Tyson. He's down there 60 years old.
I still think Mike will clean his clock.
Nah, I don't think so. That dude's young and strong and agile and hyper. He's you know and he's full of himself. Mike Tyson, man, to me, Mike Tyson is uh I don't want to be too controversial. I'll say that for another topic,
Yeah,
another
yeah,
time.
yeah,
I don't feel like dealing with the people and you know, they're gonna come after me if I tell you what I really think about Mike Tyson. I think Mike Tyson was a killer back in the day, but I
yeah.
just think Mike Tyson, I don't know, man. He he wasn't every time it was up to every time he faced a boxer's boxer, he was outclassed. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I want to say he has a lot of the same similarities that now he was technically sound. What did you know that his style he was impeccable at, but I think like when he fought the best of the best, he was exposed.
Yeah, I see I see where you're coming from. Um, what was gonna oh, there was a question here that I wanted to oh yeah, we're back to on. Do you think Canelo and Andre Ward's a fight that could happen? Is that something that interests you? That apparently everyone's talking about that fight. You know,
Yeah,
that
that
Canelo
interest, yeah,
could he call
yeah,
out
that
Andre Ward?
I think that's a good fight. Because I want to see, I really want to see because Andre Ward was the last great, you know what I'm saying, um, light heavyweight, super middleweight. He was the last great middleweight. You know what I'm saying? Andre Ward was, and now um, I just think that that'll be a true test for Andre because Andre, he ain't been retired that long, have he? How long has he been retired?
I think he 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
2017, 2021 now.
4 years.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's a bit long, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and then to jump it. I don't think Andre Ward, if he's gonna fight Canelo, he'll fight him right away. I think he'll have a tune-up.
Yeah. The thing is, Canelo is fighting consistently.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
fighting at a high level.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know if Andre Ward could acclimate back into fighting regimen and be effective, even at the a tune-up.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I'd have to agree. Do you think a prime Canelo or right now Canelo beats a prime Ward?
Prime Ward was gangster, man. A
Yeah.
Prime Ward was a killer, man. I meant to roll with Andre.
Yeah.
Andre was a beast in the field, boy. He
He
fought
was.
Kovalev. I think Andre lost that first fight to
Yeah,
Kovalev, though.
I thought that as well. I thought that as well. But
Hmm.
Kovalev was a killer though, Stephen. Like,
He was a
there's no shame in that. You know what I mean? Kovalev was a killer.
he was a straight killer, man.
Yeah.
This Kovalev. That's another thing that was kind of when Kovalev fought Canelo, it just wasn't the same Kovalev. That fight is iffy. That fight is weird
Yeah,
because
yeah. I don't know, man. I think Kovalev, he was there for the payday there. You know what I mean? Like, he fought a good fight. Don't get me wrong. He fought a good fight, but he just tired. And yeah, he fought a good fight, you know. But yeah, I think Kovalev was old. He was a bit on the way out. I think he'd lost a bit of confidence. And Canelo, you know, saw that and he took him out. Canelo, like I said, Canelo's a beast. I've said it many times. There's no obviously when we criticize Canelo, we're picking we're picking like little holes, you know what I mean, which are he's a yeah.
because
He,
he's so sound and he's so proficient in everything he does. It's
yeah,
kind of hard to pick things that you can critique with him with
yeah,
Canelo.
yeah, we're sure for sure. For sure. He's a to be honest with you, I know you think Fury, for me, he's my number one fighter right now. I think Fury's not done enough for me. Like, I think Fury's skill,
What do you want him to do, Imran?
because he's only beat two guys. Like, he's only beat two guys, really. Let's be real. Like, Fury's beat two guys in his whole boxing career, really, when you think about it, at the elite level. He beat Wilder and he beat Klitschko. And everybody says Wilder's no good. Everybody says Wilder's not that good. So
Okay, so let me ask you this: who would you favor out of Usyk and Tyson?
Tyson.
Okay, so what am I?
Well,
What am I?
the thing is, here's the thing: pound for pound is about moving up weight and stuff. Like Usyk cleaned out the cruiserweight division, and then he's come
Hmm.
up and become a unified champion at heavyweight. He's
He didn't fight
basically,
O'Reilly.
hey,
He didn't fight Lawrence.
yeah, but that was
Usyk.
Lawrence weren't there at the time. Lawrence wasn't really a top cruiserweight when he cleaned it up. But come on, you honestly think that he won't be? He beat the guy that manages Lawrence in Joshua.
Yeah,
And Joshua, like, do you think Lawrence beats Joshua?
I think. Yeah, I think you don't think Lawrence beats Joshua. I think he does.
I think Joshua's too big for Lawrence.
Lawrence is big, though. Lawrence.
He's
If he
big. He's
gains
big.
weight,
He's big that way, but he's not big that way. Joshua's
yeah,
big
yeah, yeah.
that
I
way,
get.
and he's big that way.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think he beats. Anthony Joshua.
Do you reckon? They're never
Uh-huh.
gonna fight, so we know never gonna find out because Joshua
Yeah.
is managed by Lawrence Okoli. So,
Hmm.
Lawrence Okoli is managed by Joshua, so we're never gonna find that out.
Hmm.
But yeah, like, to be honest, I think anyone could beat Joshua. Like, I think anyone that right now, Joshua's confidence is not he's not like Joshua back in the day used to be a killer when he fought Klitschko. He didn't care what was coming back. Now
Yeah,
he's like that Ruiz fight has changed him, in my opinion.
yeah. And Anthony Joshua mess around and get beat by Chris Arreola. Seriously.
Chris Arreola,
Hmm.
what? When did he beat? What? When was that?
No, no, I'm saying I said he mess around and might get beat by him. Anthony Joshua, he's so unpredictable. He's so unreliable.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
unreliable.
Do you think he's got a bad chin, Joshua?
Yeah, he's chinny. He's very chinny. He's but he's almost pathetic.
What What do you think about Joshua's stamina?
Pathetic.
So what do you like about Joshua then?
I like his style. I like his style. And when he can fight when he's on, when he's not being pathetic, I like
Yeah,
him. But he's
yeah.
more pathetic than he is anything else. Mr. Pathetic.
I I I I think Joshua's got a good combination. I think he's a good combination puncher. I think he's fast. I think he punches hard. But I think with Joshua now, I think here's why I think Usyk's going to be a problem. I think it's more of a mental issue now for him. Um, I don't I don't think he has confidence in himself. Like he's oh yeah, that's another thing I wanted to ask you. Joshua went out. I don't know if you saw the interview. Joshua said that he went to Eddie Reynoso's house, right?
Mm.
And he spoke with Eddie Reynoso. He had a translator there. And the next day, he went to Canelo's gym to see Canelo train. And then he went with the Charlos, and then he went to see Virgil Hunter, and then he went to see Robert Garcia. He said, I want to gain knowledge of these guys because I want to keep growing. He goes, whether I win or lose, I want to keep growing as a fighter. I want to keep getting better. Right. So I
And,
wanted to see how Canelo Alvarez trains. I want to see how the best fighter in the world trains. I want to see what he does. And he was asking Canelo we were talking about feints. Like, he was trying to improve his game. He goes, I want to improve my game because I know that some of the best coaches are out there in America. And I want to improve myself. So he was
and you
surrounding
know what?
himself around those guys. Yeah.
And you know what? That's admirable. And that kind of
Yeah.
changes my opinion of him because that's telling me that for once it's nice to see a fighter that's on a quest to uh, perfect his craft and become the best fighter he could be. And you don't see that a lot, where somebody is not really their success is not predicated upon the wins, but more or less the battle that he endures and all that it has. So that's a good trait. And I'm glad he's doing it. If he could just start focusing and not really focusing, but if he could just exude more confidence in himself while he's in the actual act,
Hmm.
then because you know what? The mind is the most if you set yourself in your mind to something, I know it sounds cliche and it sounds like something that you've heard over and over again, but it's really true science in that. If you put your mind to something and you really, really know you can do it, you're gonna be more victorious. You're gonna be more successful. And he just struggles mentally. So Anthony Joshua has to understand that, yeah, you're doing the right things, you're making the right moves by going and visiting all these things. But the problem is not in your skill. It's not in it's the
Exactly.
problem is in your mind.
You've hit the nail on the head. That's the thing, Stephen. I don't know whether a coach is going to make a difference because it's not a technical issue that he's struggling with.
Hmm.
He's not a
Yeah.
technical issue. Joshua's struggling mentally. He's having
Hmm.
if you're afraid of getting hit, that's a mental thing. That's
Hmm.
mental. If you're afraid that I'm gonna throw too many punches, I'm gonna run out of steam. That's a mental issue, surely. Surely, what
Hmm.
can a coach do to show like I don't know. I think that's more like a psychologist. Like, you need to meet a psychologist to kind of like, how do I get over that? Like, I can't get over like I don't know. I felt like he got humiliated against Ruiz. And I've said this before in a video. I don't know, like, guys like Khan and Pacquiao had been knocked. They've been knocked out multiple. Like, they've been knocked out quite a few times, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
felt like they never changed. They were the
Mm-hmm.
same fighter when they came, even though they were knocked out. They were the same fighter. The next fight, the next fight, the next fight.
Mm-hmm.
We saw
Mm-hmm.
the same man. They never questioned themselves mentally, whether that was right or wrong. In Khan's case, whether that was right or wrong, that he got knocked out and then he came back and fought the same way. He was successful at it, but yeah, he did get into trouble again in other fights. But for me, Joshua's kind of like a disaster waiting to happen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas at least Khan used, like, I felt like Joshua now, the strengths that strengths that he's got, he's not showing his strengths. Where at least Khan, even though he had his weaknesses and he never had any mental issues, so he would still throw his punches, he would still show his hand speed, and he'll still, go inside a boxing ring, and the strengths that he's got, use them. I don't feel
Mm-hmm.
like Joshua's doing that. So I feel like Joshua is not using his strengths
These random pictures
effectively
coming.
inside a boxing ring because he's struggling mentally. What would you say?
I agree. I agree. You couldn't have said it better. I couldn't have said it better. I think that like you said, it ain't no technical issue, man. It's a mental issue with you, dude. You know what I'm saying? You got the God given gifts that a lot of fighters would kill for, and you got them inherently. You got them innately. You got those are innate gifts that you got, but you just a sucker when you just a sucker in the mind. It's almost you almost Carol like the way he goes out some of those fights, man, is almost Carol like, and it's just that's why I call him pathetic. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't no you right, it ain't no technical, it ain't no skill issues with Anthony Joshua. You just a sucker in the head. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
not a coward, man. A coward. What is that saying? A coward dies 1,000 deaths, but a soldier dies only once. And that's the thing. Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, yeah, sure, he done got knocked out, but he wasn't no coward. He was a soldier. He only died once. But Anthony Joshua is a coward in the head. I ain't gonna tell him this to his face,
Yeah.
but you know, he's a coward in his head, and therefore he's gonna keep on dying until he expels that element of being mentally weak. You got to expunge that. You got to purge that from your system, and we'll start seeing the best Anthony Joshua. But until then, I'm gonna pick Usyk all day, every day, before I pick Anthony Joshua.
Ash, what's going on?
Yes, man. How are you, man? Good to see you live and kicking.
Yeah,
How you
good man,
feeling, man?
good. You guys, you've been messaging me, man. You and Ahmed. I was like, where? I was like, I ain't spoke to Ash in a while, man. Steven's in the
Yeah,
house as
man.
well.
You are Steven. Yeah, you good, bro? Yeah.
Yeah, man. What's up? What's up, Ash? How you doing, man? Been missing you,
Oh, good.
man.
We're missing Imran, man. He's not been coming on, man.
I know, man.
Yeah, we're back now. We're back, man. We're back. We're
So yeah,
back for
man.
good.
What are you guys talking about?
We were talking about Anthony Joshua, man. We were talking about Anthony Joshua.
Uh,
The fact that he's gone out to see Canelo, and he's seeing Canelo train. So we can take bits from Canelo. We can take things from Canelo to improve and bring into his own game. What do you make of Anthony Joshua?
to be honest, shouldn't he have done that already?
Hey?
Shouldn't he already have them kind of things in his arsenal at that level? A unified heavyweight champion, and you still got to go around looking at to get other things. I seen an interview of him. I think it was with Coogan, and he was saying, um, I don't know how he got to it, but he got to it where he was saying, sometimes you need to, go to the body, hit him on the hip, or push him on, get, put your, saying stuff that he was meant to do in the fight, in the Usyk fight, and I don't understand why he didn't do it. But he was saying stuff in that interview where every fan looking at that would think that's what you were supposed to have done in that fight. But going back to that fight, it's one of them. It was like it's a weird one because you expect him to come out there. I expected him to kind of mix it up. To be honest, I thought you'd maybe for the first few rounds, he maybe try to box a bit, see what Usyk has got, and then after that, you maybe just go for him, like you know put his will on him. But it just felt like he just didn't want to get in that scrap. He didn't want to get gassed out. He didn't want to lose like in that way. He thought if he could just lose the way he lost is okay, but it's not, because you're a unified heavyweight champion of the world. You're representing the UK. A guy from the cruiserweight has come up, and he shouldn't have been in the ring with you, and he's took your belts. And now you're going around America looking around at Canelo's camp and this and that. I don't rate him, man, to be honest. But I don't rate him.
Does Fury beat Usyk, Ash?
In my opinion, yeah, I think he would. It would be a tough one, because obviously Usyk is the guy that he's quick, and he's nimble on his feet. His movement, he shows drop levels up and down. He's trying to get different things. So but Fury is a guy who I think would just mold him. Usyk can't hurt Fury. So Fury, it's how hard Fury makes that fight. If he wants to make it an easy fight, he can make an easy fight. If he wants to make it, an entertaining fight, it's up to Fury in that, I believe anyway.
Stephen, I want to ask you, right? Fury and firstly, how great is Usyk? How great do you think Usyk is at fight? Because we were talking about Joshua and how he was struggling mentally. There's nothing like that with Usyk. He's the complete opposite. He believes in himself. He even goes to your yard and beats you up. That's what Usyk does. He goes to the guy's backyard. Basically, Usyk has gone to every fighter from cruiserweight, all the champions. He's gone to their backyard and he's beat them.
Yeah. With saying that, I still think Usyk is good, but I wouldn't call him a great fighter. I wouldn't call him a great stands out in the pantheon of time, as that's what greatness is the upper echelon. I think that you can say Fury is great, but you can't say that Usyk is great. Not right now. Not right now. What would you say, Ash?
Say that again. I didn't get the last bit.
I was saying that you can call Tyson Fury great, but you can't call Usyk great.
Well, yes, I agree with that, because I don't rate the guys he fought in the cruiserweight to be great, and the guy he beat is not the number one heavyweight, which is Tyson Fury. So if he beat the Gypsy King, then you can say he's great. Come up to heavyweight, beat the number one guy.
That would be.
He hasn't to beat a guy who's questionably would get beat from a couple of guys in that division right now. But I ask you a question: who do you think would beat Tyson Fury in heavyweights?
I think just Usyk's the only one. I don't think anyone else.
I don't think Usyk beats him. I don't think anybody beats him.
I think Usyk's the only one that I would say has a chance. You don't think Joshua beats Usyk? I mean Fury?
No.
So that's what I mean. Usyk. What fight do you want to see in the heavyweight division right now?
Just Usyk. Well, it's a lot of the heavyweights I like, but right now, namely, I would like to see Usyk and Tyson. That's the only logical fight to be made.
Yeah, I'd agree, but I don't think. I think politics, as you know, Stephen, because Joshua's have got a rematch with Usyk, and Usyk and Dillian White has to fight Tyson. What do you make of Dillian White and that fight with Fury?
Man, Dillian White he gonna make Dillian White look so bad. They should even make that fight, man. Why some of these fights? Why even waste time? How you feel about that?
I don't think Dillian White has a chance to get that. Anyone has a chance in a heavyweight because you can get knocked out, but yeah, I favor Fury massively in that fight. Massively. I just think Fury's the man right now. I think it's going to be hard to beat him. So yeah, nah. I don't.
Fury's the man, and right now he has the very best chin in all of boxing.
Oh yeah, yeah. That man's got a chin. When we say chin,
I mean
wow,
chin.
yeah, he's got heart. Heart. You know,
Yeah,
Wilder's got heart as well. Big heart.
big heart. Yeah.
But that fight against Fury, wow. Wilder, man, he looked spent after 2, 3 rounds.
But you know what I'm gonna say? You know one thing I noticed about Wilder,
Yeah,
and this happened the first fight with Tyson Fury.
yeah.
You know what? Wilder's not healthy. There's something wrong
Mhm.
with that dude, man. It's something wrong with his ear, his equilibrium. He's not healthy, and I don't think that he should continue to box. I think his career is over because he's not healthy. He's gonna end up hurting himself very badly, and he's not gonna be any good for his family if he continues to box. Because you can see it in that second Tyson Fury fight, boy, you can see it all over him. Go look at that fight, man, and you'll see that Deontay, man, he's not healthy, man.
Mm. What do you so you don't want to see him fight Tyson? I mean, sorry, you don't want to see him fight Anthony Joshua.
I don't want to see him fight no more because he's not healthy, man.
Mm. Mm. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, he gonna end up hurting himself, man. I'd rather see him live and be able to, commentate and speak on boxing in the future rather than going there and end up getting hurt or even possibly even worse.
Mm. Mm.
He bleeding out his ears. When's the last time you seen a fighter bleed out their ears, man?
Yeah, that happened in the second fight and the third fight. He
Mm,
took a lot of punishment. Man. He took a lot of punishment, man. He took a lot of punishment. That was some serious beatdown. Best of this era. Last Bell Boxing. Carl says nobody beats Fury. Full stop. Best of this era. Yeah, I think we agree. Yeah,
yeah,
Fury's good, man. Fury's good.
he's the dude,
The only
man.
one that has a slight chance is Usyk. That's it. Everyone else, no one else. No one else. By the way, Carl, I did tell you that Usyk would beat Joshua. I did say that Usyk would beat Joshua. And you know what? Shout out to Mackay as well, because Mackay was saying that Usyk will beat Joshua. He was saying without question, Usyk wins that fight, and he was right. Let's be honest, he was right.
Nah, but listen, Imran, you can't say that because he fought the wrong fight. He was saying that Anthony Joshua's gonna walk him down. Whoever was saying that Anthony Joshua's gonna walk him down as the bigger guy, and Usyk's still gonna win. That fight we ain't seen yet. So you can't say, oh, Usyk won and everyone was right because they weren't right because he fought the wrong fight. He didn't fight the fight he's supposed to fight.
To be
Does that make
honest,
sense?
yeah, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. But
If
even
AJ went
even
in there
if he
and
does, but the thing is, he can't do that though, Ash. He can't
why can't
fight
you?
that
Yeah,
way.
the guy's not that good, man. Come
Hey,
on, man. You watch
who?
boxing. The guy's not that good. You're going on like the
Usyk.
guy's doing something that you've
You
never
don't
seen
think
before.
Usyk is that good?
What did he do? What did he do so special that you saw that a good fighter or Tyson Fury couldn't counteract? Go on, tell me, and I would like to
I
know.
just think he had great footwork. He had great hand speed. He had great movement. He was hard to hit clean. Joshua struggled to land on him. His angles. Do you see how Joshua was struggling with his angles?
Yeah, but then go back to then we can go back to Andy Ruiz. Then Andy Ruiz has got the same thing. Andy Ruiz has not got bad footwork, and Andy Ruiz has not got bad power, and Andy Ruiz
Andy
is.
Ruiz's footwork is terrible, Ash. He's slow as anything.
But
That's
he's
why
not as
Joshua
slow as the
boxed him
way he
in the
looks. What
rematch.
I'm saying to you is, if you look at Andy Ruiz, you think he's like butterbean. You think, oh, this guy can't fight. But that guy, he's been fighting from 10 years old or whatever, how young he
No,
was.
you're right, Ash. But he's got fast hands. He's got slow feet. Usyk's got fast hands and he's got fast feet.
Yeah, but
But
he's
he
six
hasn't
foot
got the
one, isn't
power.
he? He's
He
six
hasn't got
foot
the
one.
power of Ruiz.
You know Tyson Fury will step on him. He's 6 foot one. Even no matter how many skills he's got. Sometimes I'm trying to tell you, he's not big enough to beat a proper heavyweight. That's what I'm
Yeah,
trying
I
to say.
agree with that.
He's Usyk
Yeah, I
I
took
agree
one.
agree
with
with
that.
He's
Fury.
230 pounds. Look what he did to Deontay Wilder. Yes, Deontay Wilder didn't have the skills, but Deontay Wilder had a one-punch knockout power, and that even couldn't stop Fury. So what is this guy going to do? Yes, he's good. I don't think he's special. It's just my opinion. I'm just giving my opinion. I don't think he's special. I think if he's got into Tyson Fury right now, Tyson Fury would destroy him, and even a year down the line, Tyson will still destroy him. And then how good is he then really if he's that great?
Mm.
I
In
just
the,
think he beat guys at cruiserweight. Yes, he beat people in front of guys in front of him, and he's shown skills and and what he did. But even against AJ, he didn't show what he done in the cruiserweights. He was still like a bit slower. He was still a bit, he wasn't the same cruiser. He wasn't the same Usyk that we saw in the cruiserweight. So if we were gonna go back to looking at him as a heavyweight, he's got no chance with Tyson Fury. His skills wouldn't do nothing because he's too small. And this is why I chose AJ, because AJ was 6'6" and he's 230, 40 pounds bigger than him. And he's been in this game. He's a unified heavyweight champion. He's been and done. He's been in the Klitschko. Been on the ground, got up from adversity. Been in there, knows what it's about. Been in the Ruiz. All that take that into account. And he's a unified heavyweight champion. This is why I chose AJ. But he went in there and done the wrong thing. So you can have a Ferrari and go on a racetrack and then just start off in third gear and the guy could just leave you because you're not doing the right things.
but the thing is, Ash, in the rematch, I believe Usyk will win again. I don't care, irrespective of what AJ does. I don't think he can win. I,
You
I
know,
don't. I don't think he beats Usyk.
I agree with you on that to a certain extent because I've never rated his boxing skills to that highly anyway because I didn't believe he beat anyone to proper note to even say he was getting loaded around in the UK like Joshua, he's the best, he's gonna knock this guy out, even do this. Because he only beat guys like Martin and guys that were coming to the end of the Klitschko was older. He wasn't like he was a prime Klitschko. And when he got in there with someone that had a little bit about themselves, like Andy Ruiz, like your Usyk, who was much smaller, and he lost. So I've never rated him. So when you're saying AJ will lose, I agree with you. Even if you try to maybe walk him down, maybe you can't even do that. I don't know. So I'm not going to say he's going to win, but what I'm saying is I can guarantee you this: Tyson Fury will beat will beat him hands down anytime in the next 2 years,
Oh yeah,
even if
Fury's a different kettle of fish because Fury can
but he's
box.
but
He can maul you. He
what
can
I'm
do
saying,
everything.
man. What I'm trying to say is when you're saying that Usyk is great and he's come up and even the media now saying that he's so good, Usyk, he's so good. Let him do that against Tyson Fury, and then we can say he's great. That's what I'm trying to say. Let him do that to the number one heavyweight in the world, and let him go in there and outbox him and do what he did to AJ. And then we can say, you know what? I'll put my hands up and I'll say, man, you were right. He's great. This guy is great. But as of now, he ain't great. He's won AJ, yes. Let's see who he fights next and we take it from there. But he ain't got no chance against Fury. It'd be stupid to fight Fury.
Mm. I honestly, I'll be honest with you, man. I think I disagree with you and Stephen in the sense that I think Usyk is great because if we
Okay.
look at the history of boxing, how many fighters have been able to come from cruiserweight, clean out the cruiserweight division, and then move up to heavyweight and be a unified champion? Even to
Yeah, but
become
this
a
is
champion's
okay.
hard, and he beat a
Let's
good.
have one thing.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Joshua's
Let's
not a bum. Joshua's he's a very good fighter, right?
we're not look
He
right.
outclassed him.
Yeah, but listen to this time, Imran. We're not saying, look, I'm not a professional, no any of us fan that we're talking about. We're giving our opinion as a fan. What we're saying is, what I'm saying, anti Joshua, he's been through this, has going through his resume. Everyone talks about his resume is so good and he's got the best resume.
Mm.
Then why didn't he show it in this fight then? When resumes are all about, resume only gets talked about when you go to these fights and tough fights and you see adversity and you get through adversity and you do these things and that's how you learn and you have experience. Then you talk about resumes. If you're going talking about his resume, he's not learned nothing. He's not learned nothing from his resumes. He's not nothing. He never learned nothing from the Klitschko fight. He never learned nothing because if he had learned anything from the Ruiz losses and these losses, he wouldn't have fought like that. He would have seen how this fight is getting away from me, and I need to get on this guy, and I need to put my power on him. I need to fucking do something. But he didn't do it. So why has he learned? And what's good talking about his resume, saying his resume is better than Fury's? Fury in there would have shown you why he is the best. Why he is the best because he would have done things that he did. He didn't need a coach to tell him. He didn't need to go to the corner and say what's happening and what punch was this and what punch was that. So his resume doesn't count for anything. because he's not fought anyone. He only fought one guy with Klitschko, and at the end of his career, and he nearly had him out there as well. He just got lucky, and he got up, and he still had that fire in his belly. But since that Ruiz loss, he's not the same fighter he was. And even then, when at that time he was all right, he wasn't really great. But now you see what happened to him.
But don't you think, Ash? Don't you think Usyk dominated that fight?
Because AJ let him, man. If AJ, you're saying, look, we
No,
all,
but
we
when you
all agree
say,
AJ's a
Ash, hang on a sec. You know when you say that AJ let him, right? I don't think AJ let him. I just think AJ tried to box with him, and he's not a better boxer. But even if AJ tries to walk him down, you got to remember AJ took a massive shot in the second round, a left hand down the pipe. And
Yeah, okay.
let's be honest. Who was the heavyweight in that fight? Who was the one that was getting wobbled? Who was the one that was in the last round almost got knocked out? It wasn't Usyk. It was Joshua. Joshua almost got stopped in that fight.
Okay, let me say one thing. You know, this is what goes back to the fighter, doesn't it? It doesn't matter who's in the corner. Because it goes back to resume and we've been in the ring with what's your experience and what you got in the tank. If you go back to Tyson Fury now, he got dropped in the fourth round, walking onto a Deontay Wilder shot. Anyone else goes to sleep. He gets up. He doesn't think, okay, you know what now? I'll just box now. I'll just box and he's dangerous. No, he got back up and he boxed for like 30 for a minute and got back together. Let's get to the fifth round. And what happened? Back to his game plan, back to his skills, back to what he had to do, and he stopped him. That's the difference. AJ ain't got the heart anymore. He ain't got the skills, and nor does the heart comes with it. He hasn't got it. He knew he was losing that fight. He knew what was happening. He wasn't like, you're in the fight, you know what's happening. Every fighter would tell you, you should interview the same. When you're in the fight,
AJ is a loser.
He can't win. When it comes to when you get into them deep waters, like Usyk didn't even put him in deep waters. He just boxed him. And he didn't know what to do, man. So I don't know what else to say on that matter.
Yeah. I'd have to agree. I'd have to agree, like in the sense that I think AJ I think it's not technical, as Steven said. I think it's mental. Steven said that it's a mental issue with AJ, and until he gets over that, Steven, it's going to be difficult for him to be great.
Yeah. He's gonna have to, like you said, seek help other than going to different camps and go see a psychologist and get his mind right, and then go revisit. Because I'm gonna call a spade a spade. AJ didn't have no business losing to Usyk. He didn't. He ain't, but he was outclassed in that fight. Something going on with him mentally. I said something's wrong with something health wise is wrong with Deontay Wilder, but something is wrong with AJ upstairs because he can't get his mental together for nothing. He might go out there the second fight. I'm gonna pick Usyk the second fight, but he might go out there and knock Usyk out the second fight. He's just unpredictable. He pathetic, man. That dude's pathetic. I meant that when I said that.
Coming back, Ash, I want to ask you, Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant are fighting next week, right? That's obviously a big fight, undisputed fight. Andre Ward, Stephen gave his opinion about this. Andre Ward said that Caleb Plant will knock out Canelo Alvarez. What's your thoughts? Ash?
Say that again, man. You're breaking up. Andre Ward, what?
So Andre Ward said Caleb Plant will knock out Canelo Alvarez.
I thought Andre Ward is a knowledgeable guy. You saw that come out of his mouth?
Yeah. Of course he did.
I don't know what he's been smoking on. Because I can't remember. When's the last time Caleb had a knockout?
Yeah, a while ago.
And then he's gonna go knock out Canelo, who's never been knocked out.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
And this Caleb guy is a boxer. He's not a puncher, is he?
No, he's a boxer. Yeah, he likes to box.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's why I asked you. You sure come out his mind?
Yeah. Andre Ward said that. He said that that guy fight ain't going 12 rounds. You know, Caleb's gonna get the job done.
Caleb's gonna get knocked out.
What how many rounds do you think is gonna last?
Heart and heart, I think it's gonna be a technical knockout. Referee's gonna stop it. I reckon by the 8th round, he'll be done.
Yeah. What
I
you
ain't going
made
past.
of the back and forth?
It's not gonna go into the championship rounds.
You don't think he's gonna go back in the championship rounds at all?
He'll be done by 9, 100%. He's ruffled a few feathers, and the Canelo's not happy.
Yeah. I'd have to agree. I think Canelo's gonna. I think
Canelo's
Canelo.
gonna put a beating on him.
Yeah, man.
Look,
I
I'm not,
agree.
I'm not saying Caleb Plant's a very bad fighter. He's a champion, so you gotta give him some respect. But like Imran, Canelo's a different level.
Yeah,
So
he is.
if he's saying I'm ready for Canelo, and he's ready to wind him up and say all that to him, he better be ready to do what he's got to do in the ring, because Canelo's gonna be coming with everything.
Another thing I didn't ask you guys about. I didn't ask Steven either. Andre Ward said to Caleb. Apparently, he gave Caleb the advice that you need to rattle a puncher. You need to get into a puncher's head. So basically, he's probably told Caleb to get into Canelo's head to rattle him. Is that
Well, the only problem with that is that Canelo, this ain't his first rodeo, and he's gonna be kind of hard to rattle. So that strategy is flawed within itself. I think Andre Ward is just kind of speaking hyperbole. I think he just talking, it's just saying things just to kind of have something out there in the media, something we can reference. But there's no validity to anything, no credibility to what he's saying. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Steven. What do you think, Ash?
Yeah, I agree with Steven on that one.
Do you think we may get a Ward Canelo fight?
Canelo beats him,
Yeah.
If that fight happens, I fancy Canelo. He ain't beating Canelo.
What about Prime Ward?
Even the prime Ward, man. You gotta remember, the best fighter he fought, who was it? Who's the best fighter he fought?
Probably Kovalev.
Right, Kovalev, right? Yeah. And what skills does Kovalev have that Canelo doesn't have? And Canelo's got much more.
Kovalev was bigger. He was taller. He punched harder.
Okay, but let's go to the facts
I
that
say
Canelo
Andre
sets up.
Ward. Andre Ward over Canelo. The
Right,
prime for prime.
Let me say one thing, Imran. Canelo, power puncher, head movement, timing, counter punching, setting his traps, setting his punches, feints, you name it, he's got everything. Andre Ward, he wouldn't be able to keep Canelo off. I've seen Andre Ward. He's a good fighter, yeah, defensive fighter, isn't he? He just 1-2 shots, move out the way, and hold or whatever, shoulder move. I'll be honest, I don't rate him either. He didn't fight any guys that were. I don't rate him as a Hall of Famer when you talk about Manny Pacquiao, Mayweather, Duran, Robert, type of in that ilk. He's not in there for me anyway.
He beat Chad. He beat bad Chad Dawson. He beat Paul Smith. He beat let's see, Carl Froch. I mean, that dude was incredible, man. Mikhail Kessler.
Yeah, but after 4 or 5 names, you're left scratching your head to see if you're thinking about any more names. This is what I'm saying. And he hardly fought out of where was he? Where's he from again?
From where's it? Oh, I was gonna say Omaha, but that's the corporate's from.
Where was he again, man?
I forgot where he's from.
Yeah, it's not coming to me. But
who are you talking about?
Andre Ward.
Andre Ward is from he's from Oakland.
Yeah, Oakland, that's it.
Oakland, San Fran,
He's
yeah,
from
San
California.
Francisco, San Francisco.
Hmm.
Never fought out there, and arguably lost to Kovalev the first fight. Um, you know, um, which look at Canelo. Canelo put skills to side. Look at his resume. Look what he's done in the sport. So you can't just off the bat say, "Oh, Andre Ward beats him," because
Do
people
you
don't
know
understand
how?
that.
Do you know how good Chad Dawson was?
I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I did see a few of his fights. Maybe I ain't seen all of his career, but
Yeah, you
um,
gotta check him out, man.
okay.
Chad Dawson was that dude, man.
I know,
As a matter
I
of
know,
fact,
I know. Paul was it? Was it is it the same Paul guy who had a motorbike accident? The
no,
boxer.
No, no, no.
That's Paul
He's a
Williams.
welterweight, wasn't he? That was a welterweight, wasn't he? A welterweight.
Yeah, no, no,
Yeah,
no. He's talking
yeah,
about
that's
Paul
Paul Williams.
Smith, about the Smith brothers.
Oh, okay. But end of the day, if you even look at his resume, it's not the best, is he really?
I disagree, man. I think I'm gonna say Andre Ward, Andre SOG Ward, man. That dude was with the he was with the business, man. That dude was a killer, man. I mean, Bad Chad Dawson was as good as they get. Bad Chad Dawson is gonna go. He's a for sure Hall of Famer. That's fact.
That's one name though, man, Steve.
I know, but I think Bad Chad Dawson is better than anybody Canelo beat.
Look,
You're saying Chad Dawson is
there's a
better than any guy
question.
Canelo beat,
Andre
yeah?
Ward for me is definitely a Hall of Famer, right? There's no doubt about it. But
Mm.
an all-time great, depending on what you want to call it. Like if you want to say, was Andre Ward as great as Sugar Ray? Was he as great as Hagler? Was he as great as Hearns? Was he as great
No,
as
this is
Muhammad Ali? Was he as great as
no
no?
way.
And he's not in that category. No,
This is what
but
I
he's
meant. This is what I
definitely
meant.
a Hall of Famer. Look, Andre Ward's not as good as those guys, in my opinion. Those names that I've just
Okay,
taken, Stephen. If you want to
what I'm
say
saying.
those are all-time greats, then yeah, I agree with you that Ward's not in that kind of category. But he's definitely a level below. He's definitely a Hall of Fame fighter. If Nazim Hamed went in the Hall of Fame, then Andre Ward goes in the Hall of Fame, right?
No, no,
But
no.
but 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 Nazim but Nazim into the he went in my opinion he went into the Hall of Fame for different reasons because
Right.
he ushered in the flamboyance and
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
changed the era of boxing. He not
yeah, yeah.
you know so
Right. Yeah,
What
Stephen,
I'm
you.
saying, what I'm trying to say is Canelo.
Mm,
Even okay, let's compare the careers. Say Canelo retired right now. Does he
yeah.
go in higher? Underwood doesn't go above him in the history books as a better fighter, does he? Steve, in your opinion, and Imran, what do you think?
What?
say that again.
If Canelo retires today, is Underwood regarded as a better fighter? Because you're saying you'd beat Canelo.
No,
No,
because Canelo's
I
always
think
been someone
momentum.
else.
Okay. I think there right now whatever's the flavor of the month is gonna have the momentum. So if Canelo was to retire right now, he'd be regarded as the greater than Andre Ward. But that doesn't translate to me as a pugilist historian who's greater because that's just a test of who's more famous, who's more highly touted, right now.
I get what you're trying to say. I'm not saying who's well known more. We're talking boxing fans, innit? Boxing fans. If you asked a boxing fan, if they're both retired, now you both said he's. I don't know what you meant about it. You said that Andre Ward beats Canelo, and I said okay. If they're both retired now, if they didn't fight just because they haven't fought, it's just hypothetical, isn't it? But if you're saying he's that great, and what he's done, and he fought Dawson, and he fought a few guys, right? And he's a great fighter. Then if they're both retired, I still believe that if someone asks me who's a greater fighter, I'll still say Canelo over him. So that's the question I'm asking you. If someone asks you who's the greater fighter, who would you say, in their prime is a greater fighter and gave, in your because it goes off your own opinion what you look at, obviously. What would be the answer? And that's what I'm asking you, and you're saying that you haven't given me an answer.
Yeah,
I
Canelo,
still,
in my opinion. If they were to finish his career right now, Canelo would be the greater fighter, in my opinion, because he's a 4 division world champion. He's come from a smaller weight class, hence why, pound for pound, Canelo is greater than Ward. Stephen, what's your opinion?
No.
You don't think so?
Well, but
Uh,
you have to have a reason
I
behind it.
think I think Canelo's record is um there's a lot of gifts on there.
Mm.
Um
That's
I mean that's just the way I feel, man. I mean,
just just to
and
save
that's
the
not the,
just to save the argument. That was in Kovalev a gift. That's if you can call that a gift when he on the award one. No one in the right mind no knew that he beat that he won that. That
It's
way,
like
would have said you. No one would have argued. No one would have said Kovalev did on the award got robbed. So you can't say that. Oh, Canelo's got
An-
gifts because
Andre Ward had one gift. Canelo's had several gifts. He he's been the Christmas kid
listen to me.
for a
Andre
minute.
the award didn't
Sa-
fight out his backyard, so because he's always getting gifts.
boxing Santa has been very, very good to Canelo. You know,
Yeah, but then
so
hey, he still took risks where he fought guys in like Triple G, who that isn't a gift. Fighting Triple G is not a gift, mate. Let me tell you, twice as well.
he was gifted. Santa Claus blessed him right there too.
I got a serious question to ask you, Steve. Anyway, I've got
Hmm.
watching boxing. I don't know if Iman agrees. Why is it that the black fighters in America they don't get the backing? Like all the fans don't go to watch them the way they go to watch other fights. Like see like Mexicans, no matter what they back the fighter. They'll go out in hundreds and thousands. I find that like even like Mayweather was different because a lot of people wanted him to lose, so they go just to watch him lose when that wouldn't happen. But I mean, like look, Terence Crawford is one, Andre Ward is another, top fighters, loads of skills, and they're not getting the people the proper backing, like to be pay-per-view stars. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
No,
it makes sense.
charisma.
It
So
makes
these guys,
sense. And to answer your question, the reason for that is because here in America, all the focus and some of the guys that in the chat can testify that all the focus is on other sports. So boxing over here in America is not one of the top sports. The top sports are, this where the black athlete shines. So there's not a lot of fanfare for the average black fighter here in America, except for hardcore fans and stuff. They just
I hear,
don't know them. They just don't get behind them.
but what do you think of this? Basically, Iman, what do you think of this as well? WBO, um, what's the guy's name? Ortiz, the welterweight Ortiz, right? He was Terence Crawford mandatory, and I don't know how long for, but they decided to make Sean Porter his mandatory and basically protect Ortiz. But what I'm thinking, my angle is they're making two black fighters fight each other. You get what I'm trying to say? Where they're protecting another guy, but they just want to see two black guys fight each other. Do you know what I'm trying to? Does that make sense to you, Steve?
Yeah, yeah. You saying that they trying to? I think what they doing is Ortiz is the next, because let's just face it, Earl Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford are both aging out of the
Yeah.
welterweight division, and the new blood of the welterweight division are gonna be guys like Victor Ortiz, who is highly touted, and Jerron Boots Ennis. So I think they kind of shifting. It's a political strategical shift that's being made now, and I think that's why you're seeing that.
Okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
you know what? James Day makes a good point. Conor McGregor acted like Floyd, cocky, brash, and flaunt money, but who got the hate in their own country? Hmm. Floyd, like, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, Muhammad Ali was the most loved fighter in the history on the sport of boxing. He was, yeah, and don't get me wrong, at his time, he went through a lot as well. So it wasn't easy for him. But now people look back at him, and let's be honest, right, Stephen and Ash, I don't care what creed you are. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what you are. we all love Muhammad Ali. Let's be honest. He
Yeah, yeah.
was, when he says he was the greatest, right? That word, the greatest, suits Muhammad Ali because that's what he was for the sport of boxing. And for
Let me let
me,
me let me let me tell
Stephen,
you something real quick.
let me just say
Okay,
this
go ahead.
before you make your point. I believe Muhammad Ali, not including the prophets, forget all the prophets. This is a big thing that I'm going to say. Forget all the famous people, Prophet Muhammad, Jesus, and all of those guys, because no one's gonna ever be able bigger than them. You right? No one's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be bigger than the prophets, right? Normal humans can't be bigger than prophets.
Mm-hmm.
But Muhammad Ali for me is the most famous man, apart from, like I said, the famous people. I don't want to offend anyone, to step on planet Earth, in my opinion. I think he was that big. That's how big. Michael Jackson, all the people in the 21st century, like the 20th century, 21st century, Muhammad Ali for me was the most famous
Yeah,
man to step on planet Earth. That's my opinion. Even more than Michael
yeah,
Jackson.
yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you too. And I'm gonna make an interesting point. It's gonna be a controversial point too. Let me tell you something, man. Back in the day, when Muhammad Ali was when he was with the Nation of Islam and he was under Elijah Muhammad and you know he was kicking that blackness. They didn't like him, you know, because you know Muhammad Ali, he was, you know, saying he was 135% for his people. He would die for his people, and I think that endeared him. But they didn't like him then. The Muhammad Ali that they love is the old feeble, Parkinson ridden Muhammad Ali. But it wasn't the Muhammad Ali of old. But the thing was about Muhammad Ali was his conviction, and his heart was as big as his room, and his he was fearless, and and you got the same Muhammad Ali, rain, sleet, or snow, no matter what time it was, no matter no matter when you caught him, he was still gonna be the same gangster he was. He was a killer in the ring, and he was a killer outside the ring. And I think that a lot of people revere him for those reasons. But let's just be honest and say it, man. They weren't fooling with Muhammad Ali when he was kicking that when he was for his people, man.
Yeah, man. What a fighter. Like what a fighter. He was a great fighter. He was a great fighter. What he did for the sport of boxing. Like that's what I mean.
Hmm.
You know when Ash made his point. How many characters do we have in boxing like him now?
You don't. You don't. You don't have anybody like that, man. People, you know, for some reason we don't straddle the lines anymore for you know what I'm saying, for our convictions that we have outside of sports. We only focus on sports. Like Mike Tyson, there was only one way you knew him was he was a bruiser in box, but you didn't he didn't have a duality. You know what I'm saying? A lot of, you know, Floyd, what is he? He's Floyd Money Mayweather. You
Yeah.
only know him for his there's no substance, there's nothing that's substantial about him. He doesn't mean anything outside of being a showboat, you know, a chauvinist, you know, just a somebody who is just a talker, you know. But Muhammad Ali, he had that, and that's, you know, see, he had what you know saying, you know saying, Malcolm X, or, you know, just, I don't want to get too you
Yeah.
know, too deep
Yeah.
on you, but
Yeah.
he had he had intangibles that the average athlete didn't have. Let's
Hmm.
just suffice it to say.
You know what, Stephen? I will say this though about Mike Tyson. I
Mm-hmm.
believe he was the second most famous boxer after Ali. I don't think I know people like in Pakistan and India where boxing's not even that big at all and like know who he is. Like people talk about Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson. If he was to come in the UK, that would cause like a, you know, we'd have our like shopping stores, you know, shut down. Like he would, like he was massive. I don't know in the time when he came to the UK how big he was. He
I
was
remember. Yeah,
huge.
I remember watching Mike.
There was lines of people waiting for him. Like he was waving from the thing, and there was hundreds of, I'm talking maybe thousands of people waiting for Mike Tyson. He was like in his time, and even now, Mike Tyson is a superstar. Like
Yeah, he's a superstar.
he's bigger than that. He's bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree
Look,
with him, man. After Muhammad Ali, there's no heavyweight that's well known than Mike Tyson.
yeah,
Even now
yeah.
today, 60, 70. If Mike Tyson came to UK and he said he's coming to your place, he'd be sold out.
You know what? You
Yeah.
know what, Ash? You know Mike Tyson, right? I was checking this. I was checking all the active boxers, and I was checking their social media, right? Joshua on Instagram, I think, has the most followers, like 12 million followers on Instagram. Mike Tyson, he wasn't even around in the social media era. He has 16 million followers on Instagram. He has more followers than Joshua on Twitter. He has more followers than Joshua on Facebook. I was like, Mike Tyson wasn't even
Imran,
around when these things were created.
Imran,
He was
remember this.
when he was boxing, he
Let me
didn't even have any of this.
let me add to this as well. That
Yeah,
in them 16 million, a lot of them are proper boxing fans. AJ's fans. A lot of them are just fans that AJ. Eddie Hearn's got all these times, all these 15-year-olds,
yeah,
16-year-olds. AJ, they don't know shit about boxing. Like
yeah,
Mayweather would say, Floyd, rest his soul, Roger. I don't know fuck
yeah.
all about boxing. What the fuck do you know about boxing? You're AJ fan. You know what I mean? Mike Tyson, mate. This tells you a lot. Third, whatever his pay-per-view was, mate, you knock people out in 1 minute, and people still go buy the next pay-per-view just to see that 1 minute
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
the animal he was the man. That's why he was the deadliest man on the planet.
Mm,
And people would just go pay 20, 30 pound or $50, $70 just to watch him knock one guy in 1 minute. All right, that's the pay-per-view over. Imagine how many fans would. Sometimes I felt like fucking is that it? Fucking is knock him
mm,
out. Fucking I just paid fucking 30 odd quid for that, and then but you still go buy the next one because
mm.
you love Mike Tyson. So he's got a longer reach than just the boxing fan.
You know, Steven's right when he says there's certain fighters that they may not be the greatest of their era. And I don't believe like Tyson may have not, like, I don't know whether Tyson fought Lennox in his prime, but maybe he wouldn't have beaten Lennox, or he may have not beaten Evander even in his prime. Who knows? Steven's
That
right.
was in his prime,
Probably
man. He would
might
have
not
killed.
have.
I wouldn't say kill Lennox, but I think he would have killed him. You know why, man? Because at the time when Mike Tyson was killing everyone, Lennox Lewis wasn't ready for him. He would have killed him.
Yeah.
That's why we avoided him. That's why he avoided Tyson until he was ready for him, and then by that time Tyson was done. If he was really had the way he goes on, I'm the better than the rest and all that. Yeah, he should have fought Tyson when they were ready at the time when they were sparring each other. He knew
Mm.
what time it was, my brother. He knew what time it was. He knew he'd get sparked out.
You know what? James Day makes a good point. James Day says Floyd Mayweather has more followers than anyone on Instagram and Twitter. And he's right. I think Floyd does. But here's the thing,
Yeah,
Floyd
haters, bro.
was a superstar, don't get me wrong. But Floyd was remember, Floyd was fighting in the era where these things were around. You know, Mike was not fighting when these things were around. You know,
Plus, you got to remember,
Mike never fought when there was Facebook, Twitter
no
thing,
YouTube.
and
There
he
was no
still
YouTube
was
around then.
massive.
What you got to remember is he's got a bit of advantage where there was nowadays you got to be on YouTube, so people, a lot of fans maybe wait a day and watch it on YouTube. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. There wasn't YouTube around them days, so he would have got the most of his
No.
pay-per-views because everyone would have come and watched it because they want to see him. But on the other hand, you got to remember, you're saying, people talk about, he didn't have the best fighters and, he didn't really fight guys. But remember, he fought guys that were there that wanted to fight him. It's like Crawford now. People can say the same thing. Oh, Crawford hasn't fought guys and, he's not that good. But he's fighting guys that are there. He can't just, you know what I mean? Now he's fighting Sean Porter, going on to Crawford now. He's fighting guys that are there. You can't just say to the guy, it goes back to where his following isn't the biggest. This is why I asked Steve the question about, why is all the black people mainly following all these black fighters, getting their following bigger, and obviously he explained that it's not the biggest sport, so obviously that makes sense. So, but
I don't think it's about thing is though, Ash. I don't think it's like because it's a black fighter, black people need to get behind him. If you're a great fighter and you're somebody that entertains, everyone gets behind you.
yeah,
Like
but I'm not saying that, but it's different in America. How I understand, it is like that. It is where
I think that's wrong.
it
I don't
is
think
wrong.
that's
It
right.
is wrong, but it is like that though. Am I correct to say that, Steve?
Yeah,
Us,
yeah.
yeah,
Ash is right.
watch
He's
boxing
correct.
long enough to know that it is like that, and people don't. they go for their own kind. And but what I'm seeing is lately is that some of the top creme of the creme fighters that are black fighters, the people are not following him. It's like Crawford. He's not. He should have triple the following he's got right now. There's who was it? Deontay Wilder. Look at that. He knocks people out. He's got no near the following. You know, and that's what I was asking the question earlier. That's what I meant was, these guys should have bigger followings. Like Errol Spencer's got a following, but the white people and the bigger are pouring, are backing him. If you get what I mean. And if you
Yeah.
look at Barbaram, he's not backing Terence Crawford. He said he on fucking interview, "Oh, I'm losing money on this guy." So there's the contrast. And then when your own people are not backing you as well as much as you need them to, that's where he falls back as the B side to certain fights. You get what I mean, Imran?
Hmm.
Well, guys, this was a great discussion. I gotta get though, but I can't wait till the next one, man. It was nice seeing everybody
Yeah,
and
Stephen,
nice
man.
talking to everybody.
I'm coming back on Friday again, man. Hopefully, we'll do another one. You know what I mean? I loved it, man. Thanks, Stephen,
Yeah,
man. You
yeah,
did 2 hours, man. Flipping hell.
yeah.
That was a lot.
No problem, man. All right,
Take
I'll
care.
see y'all later.
Take care, Stephen, man.
Have a good one, Steve, man. Yeah, man.
All right, bet.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna uh, Ahmed. You know what? I mean, sorry, not Ahmed. Ash. I'm gonna. I'm
You're gonna
gonna. I'm
shoot.
gonna. Hey,
Are
say
you,
that
are
again.
you
You know what? Let's give you like let's talk for a couple of minutes and then we'll let's see what people are saying. Jose Ruiz says good to see you after almost 4 weeks. Thanks you, bro. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Just here, Oscar says Oscar Castillo just here to support the channel. Appreciate it, brother. Really appreciate it. Happy Javi says Terence Crawford doesn't say much. He's kind of fading away. Do you agree with that, Ash?
Say that again, my man.
He says Terence Crawford doesn't say much. He's kind of fading away.
He's doing a bit more recently. He's doing some interviews. I don't know if you've seen him. He's
Yeah,
doing a
yeah, I
bit.
have. Yeah, yeah. He is.
But
He is doing a
that
little bit more. Yeah.
goes back to what I was saying basically, where he needs to do that. But really and truly, man, he doesn't need to do that. He said in his interview, end of the day, you pay a promoter to promote you, innit? What are you paying a
Mm,
promoter for then? If he needs to go and
yeah.
do interviews at this and this and the other,
Mm,
why does he need to pay a promoter? Some people that don't want to do that. It's
mm,
like now you do a live. Some people don't want to do a live. They don't want to. They ain't got the confidence to do it. They don't want to do it. So maybe
mm,
he doesn't want to go in these interviews. Maybe he doesn't want to talk so much. Maybe he's not like that. But he pays Bob Adam to do that. So why isn't Bob Adam doing it then?
yeah,
But
I
he
agree.
changed his tone a bit now, where he's doing some interviews where before you wouldn't see anything of him. Now you're seeing a few. But
Mm,
he's still a millionaire in the day. People crying about he doesn't get he's not getting the big payday. He's still a millionaire in the day.
yeah,
He's still
yeah,
he's still end of the day, including myself and you and everyone on this chat. We're not going to become millionaires. Maybe one of whoever someone will. I hope someone does. But
yeah.
chances are we're not going to be millionaires. But he is. So
Mm,
you can't just feel sorry for him and say, "Oh, I feel sorry for him." End of the day, he's a millionaire. If he gets the Errol Spence fight, fair enough. We'd like to see it. If he doesn't fight
mm,
him, then that's it. And that's how his career is going to go because look at his career anyway. Who's he for really? Like we spoke about this before. He hasn't
mm,
took that big giant step and put himself out there. Like for example, Amir Khan, for example. If you go back in his career, you look, oh, he jumped up for Canelo. Oh, he jumped up
mm,
there and done this. He done this. Oh, he tried to be great. Oh, he wasn't great though, but he's good. You know what I mean?
mm,
He's saying he's great and that, but you look at his resume. What has he done? That's great. This is why I don't
mm,
understand when people say Andre Ward's great and this guy's great and that guy's great. Mate, we talk resumes, we then talk about ten. If you talk about Lomachenko, for example, now he fought Salido in his first fight, and he had a resume of nothing, but he had a resume of amateur fights. So he had a bit of experience where he's been in the ring a lot of times with amateur fighters. And what happened was he went with Salido, and he found out it's just totally different. So when he came into the second, third fight, he learned, he learned from his resume. He learned this is what's going on now. That's a tough fight. Now I need to learn from that and do this. Back to AJ, he didn't learn nothing. So whoever ever talks about AJ's resume should never bring his resume up ever again because he's never learned from his resume. You only bring up a fighter's resume when he's learned from and shown that, oh look, he fought this guy and got beat. You see fighters that get beat in the first, second fight, but then they go on to a 15 streak fight and they're winning. You think, whoa, this guy looks shit, but he's good now. But he's learned from his resume. He's gone on and learned everything, and he's gone on and bettered himself. AJ's like going backwards. And I like what Dylan White said. Oh, he might be want to do the three times. 2 times wasn't nice, or 3 times is sweet, or some shit. Taking the piss.
Mm,
Maybe he wants to do that. You know what I mean, man?
yeah,
So he,
probably. Marky Dan says I'd say Mike is just more liked than Floyd, but at least Floyd got robbed and screwed like Tyson. Yeah, so yeah, I'd agree with that. Marky Dan spot on. Like, yeah, Mike is a lot more liked because he was, he was a lot more exciting than Floyd to watch. So David Fulton says there's been a lot of setbacks in boxing this year with the Fury Wilder fight, back for COVID, Dillian White injury, now Josh Taylor injury. Hopefully next year goes a lot more smoothly. Yeah, Josh Taylor's got injured as well. His fight with Cattrall has fallen through, and now he's going to be fighting Cattrall in February. Um, let's see how his career pans out. Hey Ash,
yeah.
looking forward to Josh Taylor.
Josh Taylor.
Yeah.
Do you think? Did you ask me what do you think I think of Josh Taylor?
Hey,
What did you ask me? Sorry, man.
I said I wanna see how his career pans out in terms of who does he fight next? Who is he gonna
He's the ceiling. I think he's reached the ceiling.
do you reckon?
Yeah, because for the caliber for the level he's fighting at now, he takes too much punishment. And fighters at that level now, any level he steps up to now, will knock him out. But in that time, you see how many punishment he takes in fights.
Yeah. I said that previously that I feel like Taylor's got to become more defensively sound and not take too many punches because
Because
otherwise, being in the fights that he's been in
if
some wars, man. The
you
Prograis fight
remember,
was a war. The Ramirez fight was a war.
if you remember, we spoke about coaches. Remember, we spoke about England coaches are still behind on the styles,
Mm,
and they're not getting the right sparring for these guys to teach them different things. They just come in there,
mm,
volume and jab and volume and feint, and that's not enough. When like now he's a prime example. Um, Josh Taylor, he's a prime British top level British fighter, and he does everything he as a someone out of Britain, like say Amir Khan. He's like an Amir Khan, a young
mm,
Amir Khan. That's what he is.
mm,
But
mm,
he maybe Amir Khan is slightly different, but his style's the same. He comes in, flashy punches in the night, not so in the night, but he's similar style. So what I'm saying is he's that kind of pedigree that he won't get any further. I don't see any, in my opinion. He goes in with the guys like whoever you're gonna name now, top fighters. Say he went up to 147 and for Crawford, they were talking about. He wouldn't last in there. He'd lose. He'd lose within six.
mm. Baron Khan says people hate uh Floyd Mayweather and how he behaved on the ring, but Mike Tyson is worse. Yeah, I'd agree. And then David Fulton says, Imran, did you see Lopez's interview when Bob Arum was there and Lopez said he wanted to fight both undisputed after Lopez gets Haney belt and Bob said, okay, enjoy the sanctioning fees, lol. Yeah, I saw that. Bob Arum called him. Bob Arum's funny, man. I like Bob Arum. He's a funny guy. Um, I wouldn't mind seeing Lopez v. What about Lopez v Taylor, Ash?
Say that again. You broke up a bit.
Lopez v Taylor.
Mm. Lopez.
You think Lopez?
Yeah, Lopez hasn't. In my opinion, I think Lopez hasn't shown everything he's got. Come on, he beat Lomachenko. Why is not people forgot that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good fight. It's a 50-50 for me.
I feel like
Uh,
you fancy Taylor.
I don't know. Yeah, probably. I probably fancy Taylor, possibly slightly. I
I
don't
just
know
think
how
that
good Lopez is. Like, yeah, he beat Lomachenko. Don't get me wrong. Lomachenko is great, and he's got a better
yeah,
win than Taylor. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Lopez wins. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not.
I think that the only thing
Hard, man.
that
It's hard. I don't know. Lopez is a really good fighter. Taylor's a good fighter. You
I just
know.
think, in my opinion, Lopez is big enough, big or bigger than him, and
You think Lopez
Lopez
is
is
bigger than Taylor?
big as or bigger than him. He's not small. He's not a small 135.
No, no. Like, I don't know, man. Taylor's big as well.
But Taylor's just got the same. This goes back to the same thing. You watch his fights, and it's all the same punches, same combination, same times. Everything's the same. And fighters are that. I told you, man. We'll pick up on that.
Yeah,
You gotta,
yeah.
you know yourself. But you're a boxer. You know yourself. This is
Mm,
why Canelo's different. Canelo doesn't throw every punch the same speed and the same power. So does Mayweather, and so this is what makes certain special fighters win. Oh, like Amir Khan find out quickly when he got into Crawford how special he is, and straight away he's saying he's the best fighter because
But
Crawford does things different.
Amir Khan was way part. I don't really like to use that fight because he was finished, man.
Okay, we don't have to use that fight. We can use there's plenty you can use. You can use Canelo versus I don't know. Kato. Kato maybe was over the hill, but Kato's experienced. He wasn't that over the
Yeah,
hill. He didn't. You know
yeah,
what I mean? He
that was.
wasn't that. You know what I mean? And even Kato find out this guy's different. Point I'm making is that special fighters they don't just throw the same punch all the time and the same speed. Like I only bought Amir Khan up because that's what Amir Khan used to do. Every punch is at the same speed and the same power on it until he gets tired. So that's how he used to get find out, and I feel that's the same with Josh Taylor. He does the same thing. He'll throw everything fast, and everything is hard, and everything is the same. So when you come against guys that like Teofimo Lopez, yeah, you maybe not seen much of him, but you got to remember he knocked out Richard Comey as well, and Richard Comey is a alright fighter as well. But people still downgrade that and say Richard Comey is a nobody. But okay, then he goes in Lomachenko, stops Lomachenko doing anything Lomachenko normally does with everyone. He didn't do fuck all, or he couldn't do nothing at all with Lopez, and people are still doubting him. But yeah, okay. But what I'm saying is now, when you see him against, if Lopez got in there with him, I'm telling you, he would beat Lopez, and the reasons I'm just giving you, and them the reasons why. Because Lopez, these our British fighters, you name me a fighter that what I've said doesn't do that. They do the same thing all the time. It's like they're fighting like amateurs. There's repetitive stuff. I'm not a person who uses bad language. It's so bullshit, man. What is coaches teaching them? You go to these American gyms and you find out, you see these people and they do stuff in the ring. You don't see an American fighter looking over at American fighter looking over to his coach and saying, "What should I do?" You look at him, your Khan's fights. I rate him. I'm biased about him. I'm a big fan of his. But in his fights, late fights, looking over in the corner. What should I do? Looking over to Virgil. What are you looking over to him for? You've been in 30-yard fights. You're the fucking veteran in the fucking game. What are you looking at him for? What is he going to tell you? You should know by now what to do. You're in the ring. Read what I'm trying to say to you. So,
Ash, what I wanted to say to you is Baram Khan's asking Taylor v. Crawford or Taylor v. Lopez. What fight would you rather see?
I'd rather see Taylor versus Lopez because it'd be more interesting, a bit more competitive.
You don't think Taylor has a chance against Crawford?
No, I just think Crawford's too slick. Too slick. He's long, he's got good power. And he's a top level fighter. You take him out. We're talking about Crawford versus.
I don't know what happened to Ash there, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up anyway. Now, sorry about that, Ahmed. I was gonna get you in, but I'm wrapping up. We've been over 2 hours. I'll do another live stream on Friday, and hopefully we will see you on Friday. But yeah, I really appreciate it, Ahmed. I'm getting off. I'm ending the link. I'm sorry. I'm ending the live stream. So I need to go as well. But on Friday I'll be doing it again, probably around 8 o'clock. So maybe you can go on Friday. It's the weekend, obviously. So I'll see you. I'll see you then, Ahmed. On Friday we'll do another one. Don't worry. I'm back. Take care, James. Take care, David Fulton. Take care, Ahmed. Take care, Happy Javi. Take care, Baram Khan, Dago619. Take care to Jose Ruiz. Take care to who's here? Marky Dan, take care. Take care to H. Oscar Castillo, take care. Yeah, take care to everyone, man. Eric, Tellez, take care to all of you, man. I really appreciate you guys coming in. It was the first live after a very long time, and I really enjoyed it. So thank you, guys. Take care. Have a good night. Have a great week, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Take care. God bless.